why the hell am I sitting with two cool guys? Because it's not a cool guy podcast.
You just got lucky.
We suck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
just worked out.
How'd y'all come in here? What are y'all doing?
What's going
on?
We drove, and then we got here, and you came outside. You let us in. We walked through. Chris pet the dog.
I did. The dog is the star of the show.
Dude, you got a future in authorship. Or booking.
Yeah, it was a sunny day. It was a subsequent sunny day after a very stormy morning, and the way the birds are outside, the air is still, the sun is out.
How many books
Collier,
is it? Two?
Two.
What's the second one?
Sinking in the Shallow End.
You have 2 books?
Mm-hmm.
Word.
You knew that.
It was a prank. I just pranked you.
I actually took Robby's book with me to Saudi Arabia, the first one, Bored in Pensacola.
No shit.
And I read that while I was out there to keep me like somewhat grounded because I missed home so much while I was out there. But I took that book with me.
Do you ever, like, when you're out there, obviously never went anywhere but to the store and back, but do you like lose yourself out there?
No, it's more like a reboot. You go out there, everything's so like when you deploy and all that, like it's so routine. Like nothing is gonna bother you while you're out there because you can't do anything other than your job. So it was literally like wake up, work out, eat, sleep, repeat, like in that order. And so it's kind of like nice to like detach, like nothing else really matters at that point.
Did it feel like it was going by quick because you were like,
ooh,
with the dudes, or
there are days where it's like, this fucking sucks. I want to go home. And then there are days where it's like, yeah, like it was having so much fun, like doesn't even really matter. Yeah. But yeah, like I would say for sure 100% there were days where I was like, time is standing still. Can this please go any faster? Like the first 3 months are really fast, and then the last 3 months it's like, oh my God, I want to go home. Please make this go faster.
Because when you're over there, you don't really have like a quote unquote 9 to 5. There's no weekend, right? You're like always on.
You pretty much. Well, for me, because I'm fire, out there we work 24 on, 24 off. So like 24, you're actually in the station and you're ready to respond. But while you're working, it feels like you're still off because you're doing the same things you'd be doing when you were off work, except if something happens, you're just going to run to the truck instead of just hanging out in your tent or whatever. Yeah. So, yeah, I always felt like I was at work. And if something really were to go bad, like, they're going to pull me regardless and be like, hey, you're not working, or you're not off today, you're working. So, but, yeah, I would say there were days where it got like Groundhog's Day where you wake up and you're like, ugh, like, can this please go faster? But it was fun. I had a good time. It was different. When I was there, they built the first Starbucks out there.
What the hell?
Yeah, like not the first Starbucks in Saudi Arabia, but where we were, they had a grand opening for the Starbucks. Dude, the Starbucks was like the size of a shack. Like it was just like a small hallway or a court. Like I can't even explain it.
It's like a Target Starbucks.
Dude, it was like a pull-up Starbucks, and it had one room. I don't even think there was a bathroom in there. The bathroom was on the opposite end of it, where the dude had to leave the actual building to go to the bathroom. But like they had their grand opening. Dude, they did fireworks. They had like a parade. They had camels. I have a video of it. I'll show you when we're done.
Insane.
It's hilarious. Yeah, they had like a whole parade.
The camels get pup cups.
Dude,
you go.
Camel cup.
Camel cup.
That'd be cool. When they opened it, they only had hot coffee, but then like a month later, they had like fraps and stuff. It was awesome.
Am I an idiot thinking it's a desert out there, isn't it?
Yeah, dude.
Coffee?
It was literally It was literally like, you know the scene. Have you seen Star Wars?
Yeah.
You know, in A New Hope, where Luke Skywalker's like looking out into the distance, like, man, wish I can get off this desert shithole.
Yeah.
Well, imagine that, but then you see a small Starbucks, like right there.
You like see 2 moons, and you're like, is that a Starbucks?
Yeah, it was really weird, but it was. I have a picture of it. I'll show it to you. But I literally took this picture where it's like you see the Starbucks, and they put like fake like turf around it to make it look like there was grass, and then just endless nothing. It's crazy. Damn. It's the most like bizarre thing I've ever seen.
Dude, this is kind of like relating, but like I just recently saw a zoomed out map of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And like once you get to the edge of Las Vegas, it's literally nothing for forever.
Yep.
So like that's what I'm imagining. You're like, there's a Starbucks and then there's nothing.
Dude, when we went, we were driving all night. And then so we came across Las Vegas, and it was just nothing but black desert and then just like lights on the horizon. And it was super cool to see, just driving at night.
Dana White posted this story every single time he like, because he has a home in Las Vegas, and every time he's like going there for the first like, or entering for the first time that week or whatever. I guess there's a part where you're coming up from the top of a hill and you overlook Vegas a little bit, and he always, I don't know if it's like from Los Angeles to Vegas, like that part, but it's like he'll film it and you come up and you crest, and then it's like the city lights, and you just get to watch it as he's coming down. It looks sick every time.
Yeah.
But it's always at night, and it's like, I don't know. I also didn't know Vegas was so close to mountains. Even though it's like kind of really far from mountains, it's like, I thought Vegas was like in the fucking desert. I thought it was flat forever. And I went there for like a jiu-jitsu event, and we were in this like Thomas Mack arena, and we're on the ledge like taking a break before the next match started, and you could see like the mountains, and then I was like, dude, the mountains are right there. But nobody I was with gave a shit about the mountains. And I was like, how sick would it be if we were here long enough to go hike? And they're like, what are you talking about, dude?
They must not be from Florida, man.
Yeah.
Anyone from Florida can appreciate some hiking when it comes
Yeah,
their way.
because everything here is just like,
Flat.
like, yeah, it's like, that's a speed bump.
I do like
as high as it
green
gets.
though. I like grass.
Yeah.
I hate like, I don't know, aesthetically, like grass and green here is so pleasing, but then you go out west like that, out to the desert, and you're just like, ugh. Like,
I don't know,
I don't know if
dude.
I could vibe that all the time.
I still want one day to just like park the car on the side of the road and just go wander into the desert.
Yeah.
For like a day. Just like a very existential, like, I don't know, just find out who you really are.
What desert though? Where are we at?
Yeah, the desert's a broad
know.
term.
Yeah, because you could be like Arizona, or you could be like
Sahara.
Arizona would be
Wyoming or
awesome.
some-
I love Arizona and Nevada. So
Yeah.
one of those.
you like being hot.
Yeah.
It must not be
hot.
as hot because you're so tall or something.
But it'll
Or,
be
like, heat
freezing at
rising.
night, though.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, at
You know
night.
why that is? I just found out why that is. There's no humidity.
Mm.
So like that's why like in deserts it can go so extreme because it's not as humid.
Interesting.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I thought like cuz there's nothing in the way of wind, so I thought like the wind would pick up and it would just cool off or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's just super dry.
Yeah.
Super dry out there, no humidity. Not only that, but like Nevada, I had a great time when I went to Nevada. I actually went with Ben. Ben.
Oh, yeah, when y'all met up.
Yeah, so I was there for a job thing for the military, and then he went on a trip with his brother just to go, and we linked up while we were there. But it's a very different vibe in Vegas. Like, it's just literally like no rules.
Dude, it's like
Sin City.
Vegas is literally like if you cracked open an energy drink and put up some lights around it. That is what Vegas is, and if you go outside of there, there's nothing. But then there's like a lot going on right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I loved Vegas. It was
It's
so much
crazy.
fun.
I
It
just
literally
think of
never
the-
stops.
I think of the card snapping. The whole time you're walking down the road,
Card?
the prostitute cards, how they'll like snap the rubber bands against them. And they have clickers in their mouth, and they're handing you out like prostitution cards. You can collect them like trading cards.
One dude saw me. We were walking in like kind of like single file because there's so many people on the side of the road on the street. We were walking and we went through like this little tunnel, and the guy was like, "Hey man, I'll sell you that good. I'll give you that military discount." And because he could see my haircut.
Yeah.
And I was like, "How did he know?" And I was like, "Man, this place is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Absolute
I
crazy."
had no idea about the whole like I don't know what if they're prostitutes or what, but like the girls that are trying to get a photo with you and then they try to sell you the photo and then they don't let you walk away since they took a photo with you. Like they'll scam you for the photo.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I was there with Hilton and like we were walking and I saw them and he had never been to Vegas, but he had heard about that before. And I knew obviously I'm not going to get scammed for nothing. I ain't got nothing. So you're not going to scam me because I'm not going to stop. I've been at the mall. You know, you're like the mall on steroids.
Beautiful hair, beautiful
Yeah,
hair.
yeah.
Come try this.
Oil.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm good. I'm a white guy. I'm dry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dry white guy.
Yeah. And I'm walking by and I'm like, no way we stop, but I have to watch this. So we're like walking and watching. And like they were getting people like that. People were stopping and were like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. And it's like, you don't stand a chance. Like she's playing the game, dude.
Yeah.
You can't play this game.
I'll tell you a story. When we were on tour with Why We Fight, when we went to New Orleans, I don't know if you remember this.
Oh, I wasn't there. I know what
You
you're
weren't-
talking about.
Yeah, okay. Man, my timeline's all messed up. You weren't on that?
I was somewhere else
When that happened?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is what happened. George and I were still underage. I was 20. Everybody else was of age except me and George, or George and I. And I had never been to New Orleans before. I didn't realize how like forward everybody was with like everyone's on the street with like these like tubes of alcohol.
Yeah.
Like they're just everywhere. And this girl stopped me and was like, "Hey, you want a shot?" And of course I was 20. I was like, "Yeah, I want one." So like she gave it to me. She gave me like 2 of them. And I was like, I just took them back. She goes, "Yeah, that's like $25." And I was like, "I don't have $25 in cash on me." And she was like, "Well, this guy over here, Steve, if you don't give me my $25, he's going to fucking turn you into a stapler. Like, he's going to fucking bend me in half." I was like, holy shit. So, like, he came up to me. He's like, "Yeah, you got to pay." And then he like walked me to an ATM. I had to pull money out. And then I was like, "I'm 20, by the way." And he was just like, "Whoa." He goes, "Well, how about this?" He goes, "Give me 10 and walk away."
Dude, you're like, or I'm just going to walk away.
Yeah, yeah.
Just call this quits.
But I was scared because, like, this dude was huge, and I was like, I was already in, like, a foreign place in my mind. So I just gave him the $10, and I walked away. I was like, never do that again. But everybody else was, like, missing in action. I didn't know where anyone else was. It was just me and George. Like, this dude, 2 dudes, like, around me, like, "We're going to kick your ass and you don't pay us." And I'm like, fuck, like, I better pay.
I've never heard of that happening in New Orleans.
Yeah, it was
crazy.
wild, dude. It was interesting for sure.
You were just the prey, dude.
I'd never been to New Orleans
Singled
before.
you out.
New Orleans is
Good
just
food,
South
though.
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It's just not the most southern part, because like the most southern part is Miami. Like that is like the southest Las Vegas there is.
I don't know. Key West. It's pretty
yeah.
lively there too.
Never been.
That's like Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, everywhere.
Key West is the little drop downs.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get there by.
You can drive there.
No,
there's
shit.
bridges. There's
To
like
all
a
of them?
7-mile bridge. Yeah, there's like, I mean, I might be wrong, but I think there's about 7 or 8 different keys, and Key West is the very last one because it's the southernmost point.
Dude, how are they not just sinking?
Yeah.
They're barely making the map, and that's gonna be like a lot for them to handle. Like, dude, y'all don't even make the map. You know?
I mean, it's like the beach. How's the beach been there that long? Because Pensacola Beach is just a strip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to mention hurricanes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
gone in an instant.
Yeah, I know.
I
they're
used
in
to
the worst
always
spot.
I used to always think that every piece of land was literal. Okay, maybe I'm about to sound like a idiot. I thought every piece of land was floating.
Yeah,
but at some point, I mean, maybe there are literally floating islands, but like all land just goes to the core or like goes down. But then if you watch these like timelines of like the history of the world, all that shit moves around.
Pangea.
Yeah, it's like, and there was one before Pangea apparently.
There's a different configuration?
Yeah, there's been like several times where it's like all been together but in different things.
That's so gnarly.
Yeah, and I'm like, how are we moving around? Is the
Tectonic
inside of the
plates
Earth
shifting.
moving around?
I have a Florida education. This might be above my level of expertise. But
It's crazy.
Dude. It is crazy.
And it makes you feel like, is Hawaii going to get closer or is it going to become China? Like, who's it closer to right now?
It's
Are we
closer
just
to
calling
us.
dibs
I think
on
it's
it?
closer to us. Hawaii?
Yeah, it's
Definitely
still
got
like
to be closer to us.
It's still like a 7-hour flight, isn't it?
It's far. It's out there.
That's a long time to fly.
And we have the technology. Maybe a quick Google.
Well, no phones on the podcast.
No phones on the
I'm
podcast?
just joking.
Let's find out.
First timer here, you know?
Yeah.
Doesn't know the rules.
It's okay, dude. You have your text tone on?
No, not usually, but now I do.
No, I mean like you have the.
It is right
No,
there.
I don't.
That's crazy.
I don't like my phone.
Are you nervous your
having
mind's
any
gonna get
sounds.
lost or something? You're not gonna know you're typing. Now it just sounds bad. I can't even hear you typing.
It says it's only 2,000 miles southwest of U.S. mainland.
Now, how far away is it from China?
Oh, it's got to be.
So it's 2,000 miles.
From China. Hawaii from China is. It doesn't say.
They don't want you to know.
They're like, it's way closer to China than you want to believe, dude.
Yeah.
We're basically just loaning it.
Yeah, China's got their hands all in it.
It's basically floating till it hits China and then it bounces back. It's gonna like, what is the musical instrument that does this?
The accordion.
It's gonna
5,956 miles from China.
But at what rate is it like? Is it coming towards us or away from?
Yeah.
It's like, let's put a motor on it and get it back over here because it's too far.
Let's put the Hawaii motor. It's just one motor on the back of it.
Like get a trolling engine and just have it pushing this way. I mean, I'm sure we could get a cruise ship on the end of the last one and just push. Can't be that hard.
Just have all the people push.
All or the people get on one side. Put one hand in the water and just start coming this way. Yeah. And you can just tie it off against like California because they said it's going to fall off anyway. It just becomes this. How many Hawaiis are there?
How many Hawaiis are there?
Yeah, aren't there like several of them?
Oh, you mean the Hawaiian Islands?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how many there are.
Let's just say there's
Honolulu's the only one I know.
California is going to become the 8th Hawaiian island. It won't be not California, but it'll be like, that's California, Hawaii.
I didn't even realize that like Alaska and Hawaii weren't even states like post World War II. Until post World War II, there's only 48 stars on the flag at that point.
Isn't it also weird that we even own Alaska? Like, why? That's too far up
to contain the secrets.
But don't you think we should own some of the Canadian land up to Alaska, like a little strip out there?
I think the Russians had it before we did.
That'd be like us not owning Key West, or owning Key West, but not owning any Orlando, Tampa, Miami.
Mm-hmm.
But we own Jacksonville, Tallahassee, us. And then we're like, we'll just take the little ones down there, though. It's like, why aren't we owning more of that? It's weird.
It is weird.
It's also like Canada is like diet America or polite America.
America's zero.
I worked with a lot of Canadians. They're a lot of fun, man.
Sugar-free.
They're a good time. They come down, like we would train them at my job now in Panama City. They come down and we'll train with them. And then after we're done training, we'll go hang out. And they love it down here, especially because it's super cold where most of them are at. But
yeah,
they love the heat. Dude. But they just think it's crazy that we just have guns. They think that's the wildest shit. Yeah. And I'm like, don't you guys like do psychedelics and smoke weed and do all this crazy stuff up there? And they're like, well, yeah, but you guys have guns. Like, that's crazy. And I'm like, is it though? Like, or are we just conditioned to think that that's super normal?
Yeah, I
think
feel
we're
like
used to it.
Super normal to us.
Yeah.
Like, even if you don't personally own a gun yourself, you're just so used to like seeing people or knives. Like you see everybody with something on them almost.
Yeah.
Like if they have boots, they're gonna have a weapon.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like it's just like a 1-for-1,
You said if they have boots, they're guaranteed to have a weapon?
For sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you almost never come across somebody, or like a heavy duty belt.
Yeah.
They're going to have something that can hit hard.
That's fair.
I forgot my knife, and I also forgot my boots. So I don't have anything.
I think if you would have wore your boots, it would have been like, where's my knife?
Yeah.
I've never been up to Canada, though. That would be really cool. I've been to Europe, and I'm going to Japan, which is going to be super awesome.
Dude.
I'm excited about that.
I've heard some crazy shit about Japan.
Yeah, I didn't know. My buddy told me if you have tattoos, it's like super frowned upon.
Yeah, you can't get into gyms.
Yeah, because they think you're Yakuza.
Yeah, that's
or you're affiliated with the Yakuza or something. I don't know.
You should just be like, hey, look at my face. Probably not.
Yeah, like, dude, you go to Japan right now, they're going to be like, do not talk to that guy.
Yeah.
Even me, I'm like, I have some tattoos, and I'm afraid that they're going to be like, that guy's a criminal.
You could pull off like a long shirt.
Yeah, it's probably. I want to know what the weather is there. I need to look at that. I don't know if it's hot there or cold there right now. I have no idea.
Yeah.
No clue. But I'm excited. It'll be fun.
Yeah, Japan always seems to be the more visited of the two.
Yeah.
Like China or Japan.
Yeah.
Japan looks more like culturally poppin'. I never really hear people talk about China other than like traditional like buildings and like cool things like that.
Yeah.
Like you think of like, or at least I think of like Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
But then when I think of like Japan, I think of like Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
It's like way different culturally.
Absolutely.
I could be way off. But like that's what I'm thinking.
I'm excited because all of my buddies who have been have told me how clean it is and how polite everyone is. I'm just excited just to see something completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, this seems like over there they have it really, really together. So.
And don't they of the entire world, don't they have the most like per square foot people? Like it's the most people stacked up.
Dude, you have all these
China,
stats.
probably?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure it's Japan, and I can't remember the big Japan city, but it's like 3 million
Tokyo?
people. Maybe it's Tokyo.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But it's like one of the biggest ones ever, where it's like straight up. You would think California, but it's like California is so big.
Yeah,
California is crazy big. Like everybody thinks Los Angeles, and then maybe San Francisco, and I don't know other places, but like.
You know what I love about California though? Just the different terrain. Like you could have like beach, desert, or California. Then you have like mountains and like very green part of California. California has the potential to be like the coolest anything of all time, but there's just so much craziness down there all the time.
Yeah, there's a marathon called the Big Sur.
Yeah,
and you run. It's like net negative, so like you're running overall downhill the entire time. It's not by a lot, but it's like you're gonna end lower than you started. And it's like all on their highway that's on or overlooking the water. So it's like gorgeous. You're in the mountains and like I'm sure you're getting like sea spray all over you, so it's like not super hot.
Yeah.
It's like I've always wanted to do that one.
Is it close to the Pacific? Like where you're talking about?
Yeah, whatever that ocean is over there.
Oh, yeah,
it's
Pacific.
Like
Dude, the Pacific is cold. The water in the Pacific is like super cold. You've been to California more than I have. I lived there when I was a little kid for a brief stint, but I don't remember too much. And then I visited a few times, but I've never got to go as an adult and really experience it. But everyone says it's fucking beautiful.
It was weird how the first like few dates were sunny, LA, San Diego, all that stuff, and then within a day we were in snowy mountains.
So you got to see Hollywood and all that?
Mm-hmm.
What's that like?
Not as awesome as you would expect.
Okay.
But pretty cool.
That's disappointing.
I mean, LA was definitely, I just saw like the tops of the buildings because I was sleeping.
Yeah.
And the band was like, if you want to see LA, we're going through it right now. And I just like popped up and saw like rusty. It looked like the industrial side of Pensacola. Bunch of kind of worn down brick buildings and all that stuff. It's kind of what it looked like. But, I mean, San Diego and those places, Hollywood, Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Was beautiful.
I'd imagine.
Yeah.
I'd imagine.
That was super dope.
I am jealous of you guys getting to live here in Pensacola because so much has changed and it's so beautiful.
It does seem like an influx of money right now.
Yeah.
Like the last 5-6 years, it feels like it's booming.
Exponential growth.
Yeah.
It's getting bigger, faster.
I'm not
quick lately. Like you see Wawa's and fucking Costco's supposed to be popping up and
Wawa's the shit. I love Wawa.
I don't think I've been
You're
to
a Wawa guy.
I love Wawa. Big fan.
What is that even like? What is Wawa from?
It's a northerner chain. It's a northern chain of gas stations. I know that, but I have no idea. I don't know anything about Wawa, but all I know is when I lived in Tampa, they had a Wawa, and I was like, this place looks nice. I'm going to go in it. And they have everything you want in there. The sandwiches are good. The food's good. The breakfast is good. Coffee's good. And it's all reasonably priced.
You been to Buc-ee's?
I love Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is awesome, but I haven't had the time to actually chill and enjoy a Buc-ee's. I only got to go like twice, and it was in and out like quick.
Really?
Yeah, but everyone talks about Buc-ee's. It's like,
Buc-ee's got some great food. Like, obviously they have the like internal like kitchen and everything, and I don't know if it's just like copy and paste the recipes, but every time you go in there, it's like the same. Like it hits every single time exactly the same.
Yeah.
They also have like Fruity Pebble Rice Krispie treats. Like they're homemade there.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, it's just great food. And they got weird things that you're just like, I didn't know beef jerky came in cotton candy flavor.
Yeah.
It's just like really weird things. Or like beaver nuggets. Like what even is that?
Beaver nuggets.
Yeah, I don't know what it is because I've never bought it. Beaver balls?
Beaver balls.
So if you're from Florida, you've heard of gator nuggets, which I had. Actually, it's funny. I was hanging out with some Canadians like a few months ago who came down, and we were working with them, and I told them that, and they just were like minds blown. Like, you guys are real freaking wild people down here. You guys are like frying up gator and shit.
Florida, man.
I was like, yeah, like just tastes like a salty chicken. Yeah, that's all it tastes like.
So, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Let me interrupt.
Yeah.
The name Wawa originated from the Native American word meaning wild goose.
Oh.
Per the company.
Is there a logo like a bird?
There's a goose on the logo.
Oh, there is.
Oh shit! I
didn't even notice that.
I've never seen their logo. I've seen WAWA, but I've never noticed anything past that.
I don't think they all have that because I've never noticed a bird above it either. But
maybe they're adding to it. They're like, hey, we're gonna have a mascot. Buc-ee's is killing us out here.
Yeah.
Buc-ee's, man, they have that statue of him outside.
Yeah.
He's just like an idol. He's just like money, 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 money.
Who was it? There was a country artist that just recently like played outside of a Buc-ee's. I think it was Keith Urban.
Really?
He just like showed up and played a free show outside of Buc-ee's.
That seems too new for like an old artist. Seems
don't-
like a Morgan Wallen thing or something.
I would
Maybe
think
it was-
Hardy would do that.
Or Hardy, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Also, I just came across like a Hardy song. I think it's called Old Bobby or I don't know shit about Hardy, but there's one song that was like advertised to me on Instagram, and that motherfucker hits.
Yeah, it
Like
was
it
Keith
starts
Urban.
from a country song, and then it leads into like a heavy metal, like
Mm-hmm.
breakdown. You're like, damn, that sounds sick as fuck.
Yeah, he's got some weird songs. He does get heavy, that's for sure.
He's like the Theo Vaughn of country music.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, check it out. So August 16th, 2024, it said that Keith Urban put on a surprise free concert in the parking lot of a Buc-ee's convenience store in Athens, Alabama. He also surprised fans by working the food counter inside the store before the show. The concert drew hundreds of spectators, and the event happened, on August 16th.
You know what that sounds like?
It's cool.
He's gonna go for mayor.
Yeah.
Because nobody works in
PR
food
stunt.
socially.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look at me. I'm serving you up. That you're doing something. You're trying to get something. I'm for the people.
Yep.
Yeah. Or he's dropping an album and then he's gonna do like the Pacquiao thing. Like, I'm gonna fight still, but I'm gonna be a mayor.
Yeah,
Like, that's a lot going on.
absolutely.
I don't think I could be a mayor of anything.
I can be a mayor in Monopoly. I love that game. I crush. I'll buy everything and become the mayor. Dude, I've seen some serious fights in my house over Monopoly. Like, it's gotten
You're like, we've
dicey.
drawn blood.
My kids love money. They think money is just like the coolest thing. Like chores, they'll do any chores. If I ask them to help me just to help me, they're like, yeah. And then if like I'm like, hey, I'll give you $5, they're like, where do you need me? How fast do you need me there?
You should have this entire time been paying them in Monopoly money and then waited to go to the store and spend it with them.
Well,
and
what's funny is the reason why I say so many fights have happened is like we have like certain house rules like when we play, and like I'll set like, hey, you can make a deal, but you have to make it this way or whatever. And watching them, both of them, Uriah and Izzy, make deals with each other to try to screw someone else over. It's like I kind of manipulate them a little bit just to see how far they'll go. Like I'll make a trade with Uriah so he won't make a trade with Izzy. It's so much fun. I just
make a good
love.
mayor, then.
What's that?
You'd probably make a good mayor.
Yeah, I'm
then.
just like this sleazy, like sketchy guy, like under the
Corrupt.
table. Yeah, it's so much fun though. But yeah, like Monopoly in my house is like we don't play no more. It's gotten bad.
I think there's a game that's similar to Monopoly, but it's like with the world, and it's called Risk, I think.
Oh, dude, that's another game. Like,
you should play that with your kids.
oh, I played at the fire department, and that too. Like, Monopoly and Risk are like the two games that have started more arguments and fights than I've seen in probably the past decade. Like personally,
I've
like
always wanted to play because I
just
feel
arguing.
like it'd be fun to like just backstab somebody last minute.
Well, that's the thing is like you set up, you have like allies for a while, and then it's coming down to like the last three of you, and you're like, all right, well, somebody's got to go. And right now you look like you're not going to make it. And then that's when it gets dicey and it's fun. But I've been that guy too, where it's like, oh, they're going to tag team me right now. They're going to beat me.
Yeah.
But
It's crazy because I assume that's how the world works.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
You're like, hey, maybe we make the phones free for a couple of years if y'all just don't come over here, you know?
That's right.
We'll give y'all Big Dizzy, you know? Don't be messing with us. I feel like they got to be making deals like that, dude.
always
Yeah.
stay ahead.
Oh, have you ever watched House of Cards?
Dude,
Yeah.
House of Cards, R.I.P. Great show.
Yeah.
It's addictive to watch Frank.
Yeah.
That is his
Oh.
name, right? Frank
Underwood.
Is that the
Underwood?
one
Oh my
that
God,
Kevin
bro.
Spacey plays?
Yeah.
He would play that. I could see him being that guy in the real world.
Oh, I mean, dude, to get
So
any
terrifying.
bill passed, to
Yeah.
get anything done, he does a favor or blackmails somebody. There's something
Yeah.
in the works for every single move, like in Congress.
Yeah.
And that is, as soon as I watched that show, I saw politics differently. And like when like Trump
It's funny.
came,
Hollywood is showing us what politics looks like.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I don't even know what to believe anymore.
No, and the bad
I
thing is,
don't.
it's like that's what they're showing us. So
Yeah.
like, the government, and I don't know how far their reach really goes, but like I assume like if the government saw that coming out and was like, no, don't do that because that's gonna let people see a little too much, they could have stopped it because they could have just done like pew, pew, or whatever. But like they allowed that to come out, so we at least could see that much. What are we not seeing?
It's kind of like the latest iPhone. Everyone's going crazy about it, but like the technology that actually exists that we don't know about is already years and years ahead. It's just we're just given the scraps. We're given okay, let them have it now. That's basically the same thing.
What do you think the craziest shit that exists is right now?
Time travel.
I don't think time travel. Which way?
Like what we were talking about earlier, interdimensional. Like travel, like time travel, like that. Like we can go bending space and going into dimensions. Like I think that is crazy. But
like forward or backwards in quote unquote time, because time is just like something we made up.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know the science behind dimensions and time travel, but I'm imagining if you can go forward or back, that's insane to me. That's enough to bend my mind.
From all the shit that I've watched on time travel, you can only go forward. And you can only go forward with speed. You cannot go forward like get in a machine, type in a date, and then you go there. Like time travel exists right now, 100% scientifically proven, and that's only if you're able to go faster than the speed of like here.
Really?
So like if you watch Interstellar, like that's technically time travel because you're going so far away. By the time you come back, like so much time has passed, but not really for you because time is relative based on where you are.
Yeah.
So like if you could go the speed of light, you are time traveling because by the time you stop, wherever you stop, you're so far ahead time-wise than you are here. And that's like time travel based on if you're saying Earth is like the center point of time. But like if you go somewhere and you end up there and like, is it 6 p.m. on Mars? Like, or is it 6 p.m. on Earth and we're now just in front of Mars?
I think... Not to cut away too much from the time travel.
Oh, you're good.
But recently, I actually got all of us, I'm sure, can admit that we've gone down the wormhole of YouTube or the internet. One day I got stuck on planets. I didn't know that the Soviets landed not a rover, but like a satellite on is it Venus? That's the second planet. It's Mercury, Venus, then Earth. They got a spacecraft to Venus. And it lasted just long enough to capture a photo of the surface of Venus. And I had no idea that existed at all for the longest time. And just to see, because we've been seeing all these pictures of Mars for a while, and that's captivating too. It's like, that's another planet. Like, that's what it looks like on the surface. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But then to find out we had a picture of another planet of the surface before, because it's so hot.
Yeah.
Because of all the gases on Venus that... whatever craft they sent there to take the photo, literally it had like 20 minutes and then it just got destroyed. But to see the surface of Venus is terrifying. It's way more terrifying than Mars, in my opinion.
It's crazy, too, like how developed we are technology-wise when it comes to space, because I think within the last year they just sent something, and just got back within the last few months the information on it, but they got something... as close as you can to the sun without it burning up.
Oh, yeah.
And they recorded sound, even though it's not technically sound, it's just frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And they were able to, like convert that into our type of noise, whatever
so we can hear it.
They auto-tuned it.
It's crazy.
Auto-tuning the sun. Hell yeah.
They, sent it to T-Pain. They're like, do something.
T-Pain's in the NASA, control room.
Yeah. Dude, T-Pain is crazy talented.
At singing?
Yes.
Oh, 100%. I'm so glad that he basically gave the middle finger to everybody, giving him a hard time. Yeah. He's an amazing singer.
I don't know why. I guess it's just because of the way he came out. Like, he was more interested in auto-tune to begin with. But,
it was just the thing at the time.
Yeah, it was cool.
It's crazy.
I couldn't sound good with that much auto-tune. I don't even sound good without auto-tune. So, I don't know how he's master of both.
That's not true. You sound great, dude.
I know. He
immediately folds. He's like, no, I'm pretty good, dude.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I just think it's cool that he was able to so many. I can't remember. He did an interview on MTV or with somebody, and I can't remember if it was Diddy or somebody else in music that he looked up to gave him a hard time for saying, "Hey,
I remember this.
You ruined hip hop and the rap game basically because of the auto-tune thing," and it crushed him to his core. that he came out and then he just started swinging, putting out songs and no auto tune, just killing it. And I just thought that was so cool. Like,
I can't remember. Maybe it was Jay-Z or something.
I think it was somebody huge. I can't remember if it was him or Jay-Z or whoever, but I remember that he did an interview and he was talking about it. And he was like, "That crushed me."
Yeah, Jay-Z was probably like capitalizing on it.
Oh,
he was just like raking in the money. He's like, "I'll sponsor your whole auto tune thing while it's hot."
He's like, "Let me sign you real quick to a 6-album deal."
Yeah,
and DJ sets.
You just got to come to this party. You got to do this little thing.
Yeah.
But on a serious note, I think every singer, including myself, probably hates the way their voice sounds hearing it back. Like, thank you for saying that, by the way. But hearing your voice back, it's like never good enough, in my opinion. Like,
I think that's anybody that's on any sort of recording.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the same with like instruments, because it's like more like this guitar will sound like that guitar if it's tuned the same way and I'm playing the exact same chord, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like my voice, if I try to sing your song like you, I'm not gonna sound like you. I'm gonna sound like me trying to do your song.
I think it's a vulnerability thing because it is yours, and like you can only change your voice before it's like, okay, how far can I get this to go before it sounds terrible. But like with a guitar, you can put a delay pedal, a reverb or a chorus or a phaser. You can make it sound interesting and weird, and no one's going to really judge that. But with your voice, it's like you can only humanly alter it so much before it's like, whoa, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
But like, I know for me, every time I recorded it, it's like the best person who said it was Tom DeLonge. He grabbed like a bass drum. He was doing an interview whenever he recorded the Untitled album with Blink. And he's like, you know what recording's like? He just took like a bass drum pedal and just hit himself in the nuts over and over again. He's like, sing it right, sing it faster, sing it in key. He goes, that's what recording vocals is like. It's like it never feels like you're going to do a good job no matter how many times you do it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel when I'm recording vocals. Like I'm always like, oh, please make this sound good. Please, God.
Is there ever a moment where you're like writing something and then like you record it and then you're listening to it back and you're like, what the fuck did I just say?
Yeah. 100%.
I said, you remind me of a banana or some shit. You're just like, why did I say banana right there?
The funniest thing is when you're scatting to find melodies, because you're just saying random gibberish words just to find a melody, or at least that's what I do. Like if I start a song and I have the instrumental part, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, it's time for vocals. And you're just sitting there going, la da 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 da, and you're just trying to find the melody. You just start saying random words, and then you latch on to one word, and then all of a sudden you're like, that's going to be my base to figure out what this whole song means. Word. Some people are really good at like, they'll come in with words. I can't do it that way. Some people will have a whole song written lyrically, and they'll write the instrumental to fit the lyrics, where I'm the opposite. I write all the instruments first, and then I'm listening back, trying to find melodies, and then I'll add lyrics. You're really good at that too.
I was like the opposite though. Anytime I wrote songs, and I never wrote full songs for bands, but I would start out on an acoustic and just like have a couple chords I liked, and then write the lyrics and vocals from there. And if I were like recording, I would add the bass and drums and stuff after. Yeah. I can't imagine having a whole song done, dude, and then just writing vocals to it.
Did you hear about how Elton John did it?
No.
Like,
but I want to.
He would make the music, and he would never write a lyric ever. And some other guy wrote the lyrics to the songs, and he just sung them no matter what it was. And the guy didn't tell him how to sing it or where to sing it. Yeah. He just wrote the lyrics, and he's like, all right, these are yours. Go ahead.
That's crazy.
That is insane because of how many, like, astronomically huge songs he has. And you're just like, I think it's the Yellow Brick Road song where he's talking about, like, animals and the forest, and you're just like, what the fuck are these lyrics? Like, you're trying to find the meaning to it, and then, like, to hear, like, the origin of how they're actually written, you're like, oh, okay, that kind of, like, that dude could have wrote anything, and you're going to sing it anyway.
I was bummed. I watched, with my wife, the Whitney Houston movie not that long ago.
What is that one?
There's a movie about Whitney Houston it's probably didn't just came out. It's been a couple years, but I had watched it recently. I was bummed to find out how many hits Whitney Houston had, and she didn't write any of them. They were all written by other people.
I mean, that's for pop stars.
Sure, but for some reason, I always had the understanding that she was like the writer, main performer, everything. Again,
generation.
that is my problem. Like, I assumed that Whitney Houston did all of that, and then to find out she didn't and everything was written for her,
it
kind of bummed me out a little bit.
I mean, that's
just
like
a little
country.
Bit. Yeah, and it happens all the time, but I guess for some reason I just grew up thinking the whole time Whitney Houston did it all. Like, she was perfect.
It's crazy too, like genre wise, like why and when it matters. Like, rappers, you can't write for me. I gotta write me. Yeah. But then you find out that people write for them, and they're like, no, nobody goes for me. But then it's like rock songs. It can be the whole band. But if you find out somebody else wrote that, kind of weird. Pop, it's like we all know nobody writes their shit. Basically,
yeah.
Like, there might be some people that are really good. Like I think his name's Charlie Puth.
Mm-hmm.
He can just come up with something from fucking nothing.
Is he the guy that's super, like, he can clink a cup?
Yes,
and
he
say,
did
like,
it on
what note
Jimmy
it is?
Fallon, I think.
Yeah, okay.
And he'll, like, there's also a dude that did the Justin Bieber, where it, like, he took a Justin Bieber vocal and made it into, I think that's Benny Blanco. But he, like, made a beat from a sound Justin Bieber made with his voice.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, we all know the song that it came from, but we don't know that it's his voice.
Mm-hmm.
That is the beat. But it's like, yeah, that Charlie, it might even not be that guy. I don't know the guy's name, but I know that video you're talking about. He, like, literally is with Jimmy Fallon, clinks a cup, makes a song within probably 3 minutes. Maybe not the entire song, like choruses and all that stuff, but he, like, makes the beat where it's like, this is like a radio hit now.
That's crazy.
He legit can do that shit from nothing.
I've met a lot of people like that. Like, dude, I'll just say Landon. When Landon Tours recorded Safe Harbor, the 2 times that he did, that was the first time I was, like, in the studio with someone like that. Like, he just, like, made songs from nowhere. Like, we would record all day long. All day. We would do drums, guitars, whatever. And it would be late at night. He would break out and he'd be like, all right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. And then he would come in at, like, 8 o'clock the next morning and be like, hey, you guys want to hear this whole song I wrote last night? And I'm like, dude, you spent all day recording with us and then you wrote a whole nother song last night?
Yeah.
Like, what?
His solo album, the one that has, like, it's like crazy art on it. It's like a white background.
Yeah,
but it's like,
yeah. I think it's the
like
first one.
Watercolor or something.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But it's like a face. It's so fucking crazy, and it gives you chills just listening to it. You're like, what has this dude gone through? And he's able to translate it into, like, actual music that is, like, listenable. It's not just, like, bullshit that's on a fucking track because it's his name and it's like, oh, that's that guy's music.
Yeah.
It's, like, legit really good music if you like that, of course. But, like, I think subjective, it's, like, really good.
He was really cool, man, when he would show us, like, the stuff he was working on, like, behind the scenes, like, unreal. Like, I think it was the album, what was it, My Own Ways? I think that was the album.
It was Happiness and Self-Destruction.
Happiness and Self-Destruction, but that song was on that album, but he was recording us while he was putting together that album. And, man, like, he would show us, like, demos and snippets, and I was like, this is going to be insane.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be unreal. And it was probably one of the more prolific, like, albums.
Oh, that was my favorite album of theirs, hands down.
Yeah, for sure. It was legendary, in my opinion.
Now, how does it feel to know, like, you'll be that for someone one day?
Whoa. Let's
"Whoa,
pump the brakes.
Let's pump the brakes.
Yeah, you're
hey,
right.
Hey, whoa.
You start telling stories. You're like, you've heard of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star? That was me.
That was me.
I wrote that. I would just be lying to my children like that. I'd be like, you know, like, if you're happy and you know it.
That was me.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You know, happy
kid.
birthday. Also me.
I convinced my son that the Independence Day, like July 4th, was because of what happened in the movie Independence Day.
Oh, nice.
And he believed me for like 2 days. And then he came back. He's like, you made that up. I'm like, yeah, I did. I'm sorry.
You're like, who told you that? Because they're lying. Dude, the craziest thing I ever had a kid believe was my sister had her kids over, not at this place, but at a different place I lived. And I told them they couldn't cry in the house because it's, like, illegal in my house and we'll call the cops. And they would not cry in our house. Like, legit. I was like, you love your parents? Because they're going to go away forever if you keep crying in this house. And they were like, I'm sorry. And
Every time you cry, a piece of your parent disappears.
Yeah. It's crazy, dude. Kids are so gullible, but like that would be definitely something I tell them.
You know what's crazy too is like this past Christmas, like it was the first year we did not do the Elf on the Shelf. But when I grew up, we didn't have Elf on the Shelf.
What even is that?
So
I mean, I
Elf,
understand the concept, but where did that come from? What is that?
I have no idea, but I remember the first time my wife started doing it, and I was like, why? I remember I woke up really early for work, and I came downstairs. It's like 5:30 in the morning, and she's up trying to get the elf to sit right in like a bowl with water, and he's got like a fishing pole.
Oh, that's
and he's
sick.
like fish. She went all, to her credit, she went all out, and she did a great job. But I remember it was my first experience with it. I was like, what are you doing? Are you on drugs? Like, why are you trying to get this elf to look like he's fishing? She's like, you don't listen to me, do you? And I'm like, probably didn't hear you. Yeah. And she was like,
you said
Elf
what?
on the Shelf. Yeah. I was like,
huh?
She's like, Elf on the Shelf. I was like, what is Elf on the Shelf? She goes, I'll explain it to you again. But she told me that it's for kids, that the elf at night, he moves around, and if you touch him, then the elf's not real anymore all of a sudden.
It's like a horror movie,
bro.
Yeah.
Why is there an
like
Elf
that.
on a Shelf on like A24 coming out this year?
Right? Like
or
a scary movie.
Blumhouse, like drop that shit. Y'all are doing fucking Winnie the Pooh and like
Oh yeah.
all these
I never saw
Mickey
that.
Mouse just came out, like a Mouse on the Loose or something. It's like these crazy, because of the 100-year like thing went up, and now they can, like,
where the patents run out.
Yeah, and now they can like do their likeness.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like Pooh, like murder or Honey and Blood.
Yeah,
what?
The beginning of that movie was like, oh my god, they're gonna kill my childhood. Like,
You
they're
legit
gonna kill.
watched it?
I watched like the first
Oh,
20 minutes,
wow.
the very beginning. He takes out Christopher Robin. Christopher Robin comes back with his girl, and they're like, he's like, I know they're around here somewhere.
He's like, "What's up, Chris?
it's,
Break yourself, fool!"
It's crazy, man. It was very like dark and brutal.
Jesus,
It's a brutal
dude.
movie.
Dude, there was a dark Pinocchio movie that
Yes.
like traumatized me as a kid.
Really?
Remember that?
Oh no, not as a kid. I mean, I know they just dropped a new one.
It was like a 90s one. It was old,
Like
so
a
it was
cartoon?
extra creepy. No, it was a real movie. But it was like the doll wouldn't even move its mouth. It was just like a whisper that the kid could hear. But it was like getting the kid to like trip another kid right when a bus was coming or something like that.
It's
Like,
The Shining
yeah, basically.
with
But
a doll.
he's just a creepy puppet, and he
That's
just like isn't moving, but he's just like talking. Like,
Yeah.
ugh.
There's just some actors who are like perfect for like scary movies. I don't know why when you said The Shining, I just immediately thought Jack Nicholson. That's like the first thing I see is his face through the door.
Dude,
Yeah.
James Long,
Yeah.
the modern horror movie guy.
Dude, the new I can't remember the name of the fucking movie, but it just dropped. But the plot is like Jack Nicholson's son, like his real son in real life. He's
Smile
like a
too.
super fan. No. That one's good too.
Oh, okay.
He's in that, and that's great. But it's a new movie where he steals like a pop star and holds her like in his house, I guess. I don't know anything past that because I don't want to look too much into it because I want to enjoy it when I watch it.
Yeah.
But it's like he's a crazy super fan and stalked her and like found her, and he's like, we're going to get married now. And he has the Jack Nicholson face and cadence a little bit,
God.
and you're like, this is sick.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Another show that's coming out, it's more of a dark comedy, but are you guys fans of Tom Segura?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, he has a show coming
Bad
out called
Thoughts?
Bad Thoughts.
Yeah.
And I love, like, because you know, if you follow Tom Segura, like, he's been trolling Garth Brooks for, like,
Yes.
years. Like, it's been a
For a
while.
long time.
And there's a scene, and I saw it, and there's a scene or in the clip in the trailer where he's a country music star, and he kidnaps his fans and uses their traumas to write hit songs.
Yeah, he's like,
Nice.
say something crazy, and they're like, my dad killed my mom, and he's like, I like that.
He's like, I'm already. See, now that's a hit.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
Dude, that is why this is called Some People Suck.
Really?
Yeah, because
Yeah, explain the origins. I love origin stories.
so Some People Suck. We couldn't do the other favorite bit, so we both have individual favorite bits.
Because I know that's from Tom Segura.
Yeah.
I was wondering if there was a correlation with that.
Yeah, this is the when he's at a theater and there's a baby in the
Yeah,
movie
he's
theater,
like,
and
some people suck.
yeah, he goes to the manager and he's like, "There's a baby in there acting like a baby," and he's like, "Some people suck." And Hilton's is the bike bit.
Oh.
Where he's talking about scared straight and
Yeah.
they're like, what you in here for? I took a bike. He's like, what you took? A bike. And we both have our favorite bit tattooed on us.
Okay.
And he has bikes on his ankle and I have Some People Suck in my armpit.
Oh, that's
So-
awesome.
we had like a list of names, and I have no fucking idea what else was on the list. But I was like, we can't do a podcast called Bikes.
Yeah.
Because we don't
They
talk
just
anything about bikes. Like, it makes Bikes the podcast.
Well, I got a Huffy.
Yeah, it's like how far could that... It sounds like it should be like a BMX podcast or something. Yeah. Also, like, Bikes feels like it would have already been taken. Nothing was taken on this.
Which is pretty shocking.
Yeah.
This is a cool... I mean, I love the way that looks, by the way.
Yeah, this is like a rip on... the Comedy Store in California.
Oh, wow.
That's the logo. Like, we tried to make it look as much like that as, like, the Comedy Store logo that's on the store. And then, like, the logo of us, like, kissing in front of a mic is, like, we're on stage at the Comedy Store. That's why it's, like, red draped. Yeah.
Very cool. I'm glad that was a Tom Segura reference.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I literally was just listening to Tom Segura's, like, stand-up yesterday, and I remember that came through where he's talking about the baby in the theater.
Yeah,
that shit's so funny. He's got so many good ones. I like the one where he's talking about his dad in Vietnam, and he's like, some people don't want to talk about Vietnam, but he's like, but my dad's like, what do you want to know?
Yeah, he's like, killing people is the best part.
Yeah, he's like, I love no better feeling than killing the enemy.
Yeah. It's like, dude, what? Yeah. Dude, it's also cool seeing him live, or like, I guess seeing any stand up live, because they're gonna do what's gonna eventually come out, but they're doing it like more R-rated.
Yeah,
like we saw Sebastian Maniscalco, and he like cussed like in his set while he was doing it, but obviously he's a clean comic.
Yeah,
so it's like anything he puts out that's videoed like is all clean. There's no cuss words. That was probably like the most shocking one, because you're like, I would have never thought he would cuss, but he'd be like, what are you fucking thinking? Like, he would just add fucking to something or something. We also went and saw Louis C.K. and, like, he did, like, a whole...
That guy.
15 minutes on the Bible. Like, he read the Bible, and then he would just talk shit about what was on the page to the crowd. Like, he's like, this is y'all's God? Like, it sounds really bully, but it was really fucking funny and, like, well thought out.
Man, he went through a rough stint for a while. Like he got canceled hard for a lot of reasons, but I loved his show and I loved his stand-up. It's just like it's like almost dry, but like fucking dark and hilarious at the
He's
same time.
releasing a book this year that is what is the one that's not real? Is that nonfiction or is it fiction?
Nonfiction is real. Fiction is
fake.
So
if you write a fictional book, that means it's not real.
Damn, that made way more sense when you said it like that, like fictional.
Mm-hmm.
Because I get fictional is fake, but then when I think nonfiction, fiction, I'm like, nonfiction is
it does mess with your head a little bit.
Because it says non.
Yeah.
It should be like fictional is fake, and then like another word is real. Real.
just get rid of nonfiction as a title.
Nonfiction. It's like non-vegan. So it's regular.
It sounds
regular
more
food,
sophisticated when I say I wrote a nonfiction novel. You know,
well, it's kind of like biography and autobiography. That still confuses me every now and then.
What is the difference?
What is the difference?
One is a biography that someone else writes about a person, and the other one is someone writing it about themselves.
So which one is which?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Autobiography just sounds like a computer.
I think autobiography is probably the self-published, self-written.
Auto. Do you read books a lot?
I listen to books a lot.
Yeah, me too. I hate reading them. I like listening to them.
If they're also, I'm like a sticker. Go ahead.
Autobiography is written by that person.
So if you wrote about yourself, that's auto?
Yeah.
You should do that. You should write about you.
This really cool
you have
guy
so many chapters.
once existed. I do have a lot of weird chapters.
Yeah, but the problem with you would be like each chapter could be a book. You should just be like the R.L. Stine of yourself.
Yeah, just a bunch of weird Goosebump stories.
What's cool is R.L. Stine kind of became a character in his own way. Like in the way he's portrayed, like the creepy author kind of guy. Like who's the other one? There's another author like R.L. Stine that's
you're talking about
like that.
He does movies. Fuck.
Yeah, I can't think of it off the top of my
head. He has like
head.
100 movies and he
Stephen King.
Stephen King, yeah.
Okay.
He's becoming like a character in his own way.
Yeah.
I like when Jack Black played R.L. Stine. That shit made me laugh so hard. I think that's hilarious.
I still have. You're talking about from Goosebumps?
Yeah.
I haven't watched those yet.
The movie?
Yeah.
I watched
'Cause
it
isn't there
once.
two?
There is two.
And then like there's a TV show of it too, where like David.
They came out with a show, and it was like a more like I think it was R-rated.
Yeah.
It was more like adult, scary kind of stuff, but it
Yeah.
was super weird.
And the main guy is
really like
from
David Schwimmer.
David Schwimmer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
I wanted to see it because it looked good, was it?
It was
haven't seen
weird. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty good, but like the haunted mask was not like the haunted mask
From
of
the
like
90s?
Goosebumps. It was like a weird looking mask that just like talked to the person, and
It
it was
was
kind of
just
like
the
the Pinocchio
COVID mask.
thing. Yeah.
Dang. I loved the Goosebumps in the 90s, like seeing the
yeah.
show and hearing the
Dude, Night of the Living Dummy. Those were actually
Yeah.
scary.
That or like Are You Afraid of the Dark? It's like they
Are You
all
Afraid of
had
the
like a
Dark?
vibe about it that you're like, they were kind of like PSAs, like don't be doing dumb shit, like don't go into that van, because it scared you in like a like entertaining way.
Yeah.
But
Are You Afraid of the Dark got me a few times as a kid.
Yeah.
The one where the kid like is given money to get his mom like a birthday present, and he gets like a game system instead. And there's like a clown at the store, like a clown doll, that sees him do it.
okay,
And then he gets home with the money, and then the clown is under his bed. And then he has like a dream that the clown like blows up really, really big, and it's like guilt tripping him,
Yeah.
basically for not buying his mom a gift. But it's just a doll thing,
yeah,
a clown and a doll, scariest thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy
I don't like
how
it.
simple scary things can be. The dark.
Yeah.
There's nothing more simple than the dark. It's always around. There's darkness in here right now. There's shade. There's shadows. There's like, it's always around.
Yeah. This couch.
Yeah.
This couch is dark.
That's a
And
dark
it's like,
couch.
but if everything in here got dark and you couldn't see your hand in front of your face, you'd be like, what are you guys doing over there? You'd be scared for a second. You'd be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I definitely come home all the time to my wife watching like the first 48 and like all those like murder shows.
Okay, so like crime, true crime, and like crime drama type stuff is so like skewed towards the female base. Am I a girl? Because I love that shit.
No.
True
I think-
crime is addictive.
I think
to watch.
any good story is
Yeah.
addictive, and unfortunately, because of the nature of those stories, it's captivating television.
Yeah.
This dude killed his wife, or this woman killed her husband, or there was like some crazy mob twist, or some alternate story in between that you're like, oh, how did that happen? Like, it's captivating television. It
Yeah.
really is.
It's the same, but I'm like so addicted to the things that I'm like scared would happen in real life.
Yeah.
Like home invasion type shit where it's like they're going to bind you up and like do crazy shit to your partner or something. And you're like, I would never, but
Yeah.
I can't stop watching that shit.
Oh, it's that movie with Gerard Butler, Law Abiding Citizen.
Yeah.
The beginning of that movie, it makes I gotta look
Bro.
away. Like, it's just so brutal. But then how he got back at everyone, I was like,
Dude.
that guy right there, what a G. Like,
Yeah.
what a G.
Meanwhile, we get in prison if some shit happened like that, and we're like, how do I even set some of that shit up?
Yeah, like unreal, right? But yeah, like it's crazy television, man. Like my wife watches like all those crime shows all the time, and you know, I have like crime fatigue. I'm like, okay, like here we go again.
Yeah. If it's
Steven's
the
gonna kill his wife because he's having an affair and wants to move on, like, you know, whatever. But at the same time, it's like, oh shit, like why did he throw her in a trash compactor? Like,
Yeah.
why did he do that? You know?
I think part of the thing that's captivating to me is like, you really thought you were gonna pull that off? That
Oh,
and it's like,
yeah.
it's like
Some
how
for sure.
crazy people think they can take a thing. Like, you really think you're gonna poison somebody and they're not gonna do like some sort of report on their body
Yeah.
and see that
Toxicology.
And then, yeah, and it's like you bought the one chemical that is like only been sold once in 100
Yeah,
years.
the only store in this town
Yeah.
sells it that you live in. Like,
and it has cameras and you went and
Yeah.
bought it on your debit card. It's like,
you know what's crazier to think than that? How many murders happened prior to like 1980
oh yeah,
because of lack of technology, surveillance, cell phones, like internet, like
Oh, they're still solving them.
Oh,
You
I
see
know.
them pop up because they finally have the technology and they find the DNA on it or this or that.
or like imagine being in the 1800s, for example.
dude.
Like how many people probably just got, oh, you have a nice house, I'm taking that.
Yeah.
Like crazy stuff.
The craziest thing about the 1800s to me is having no AC.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody's stung.
Or insect repellent. Like imagine being outside in the summer here in Florida, living like in the 1800s,
Yeah.
like getting bit by mosquitoes all day.
Dude, they didn't even have Zens back then, dude.
no Osamas and Ladens.
Yeah.
No Monica Lewinsky.
That's right. They didn't even have podcasts.
Yeah, dude, they didn't.
Yeah.
Dude, they're probably
They got their news through like a telegram.
Yeah.
It's like 3 months
Carrier
late.
pigeon.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, there's a tornado coming this way. Dude, it came already.
Yeah.
You're a little late.
Yeah, I mean, there was like obvious signs like nature, like, you know, seeing animals going a certain way because they have like senses and all that. Like,
Yeah.
what is it, like cows laying down, they know it's going to storm. Like little things like that.
Something like that. Or
I don't know if that's a
horses
myth or not.
feel it in their feet.
Yeah.
I heard that.
I've never heard of that. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
They do something where they feel it in their shit.
Yeah.
I know, like, if you have, like, a lab, like, you know, he has Ginger in here. She can feel a storm coming. Like, you can just see her just stand up and she'll start drooling. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, but it's because a storm is going to be here in, like, an hour or something.
Yeah. And
She can just
sense
feel it. Yeah, and she just starts...
Yeah, my dog
shaking.
hates thunder. He hates it.
Yeah.
He's terrified.
But for some reason, we've protected them this entire time.
Yeah.
So why are you so scared?
Because I don't think their brain, obviously, their memory is not like ours.
They're like, he's protecting me every time. But this time, though, I could feel it.
It's
Dude,
different.
Some bad shit's about
You know what really hurt my soul was finding out the way dogs and time works for them. Like someone told
like
me,
within a dog itself.
like how they perceive time.
Okay.
Like for us, like an hour is like just an hour, but an hour to a dog is like a few hours. So like when you leave your dog in a kennel and you're gone for the day, it feels like they feel like they've been in that kennel for a long time.
Yeah.
And that really made me sad. When I heard that, I was like, oh, I don't think I can keep my dog in the kennel
Where
anymore.
did we figure that out? Like, how, did somebody look
That's what-
into them and was
like
why
dog
do you-
ears. You ever heard that?
Yeah, but like, how did we?
I don't know.
Why did we look into that, and how did we figure that out? Like, do other animals
Crazy
have different ears?
smart people, dude.
Well, it's
Crazy
kind of
smart
like
people.
food. How some animals, if you give them food before you leave for work, they won't eat all of the food until
you
you're
get back.
home again, because in their mind, if you're leaving, you might never come back.
Yeah.
They don't know that you're just leaving for a little while.
So they're preserving their food in case they
they're
need
surviving.
it.
Yeah,
That's sad.
yeah.
That's really sad.
It also makes you like, what if I fell asleep too long in front of an animal? That motherfucker's gonna eat me.
if they don't
What
have
if
any
you
food,
wake up to your animal already eating you? Like, part of you is gone. A pinky gone.
I'd be pretty bummed about that.
Dude, I trusted you in my house.
yeah,
You are now an outdoor
you were
cat.
my friend.
Yeah, what
Now you're
happened?
eating my body.
What happened in the last hour?
That's awesome. I never thought about it that way. That's funny.
Yeah, because like sometimes, like maybe y'all go on the road a little too long and you're like, dude, I'm fucking exhausted. And you sleep for 18 hours straight or something. Like you need a break when you get back and your body just takes it. What if that dog is just like, that kneecap, bro? That thing is tan
thigh.
right now.
The thigh.
Yeah.
There's meat on
Because you see dogs licking you because it's like salt.
Yeah.
Like they like the flavor of like whatever your sweat is.
They're just getting a little taste.
Yeah, they're just
Like
like,
one
this
day.
Yeah.
Wait till he falls and can't get up.
It's sad though how the lifespan. Like when my dog goes, that's gonna crush me. 'Cause he's a little dog, so he's gonna statistically live a lot longer.
Yeah.
Smaller dog, longer life. But bigger dogs like labs and stuff like that, so much fun, great dogs, and
Yeah.
then their lifespan's only like 12 years.
Dude, I had no idea about labs, but they will literally play until they die.
That's crazy.
Like Hilton had a friend and he was over here and literally is the carbon copy of the dog that we already have here.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember its name, but like let's just call it Scout. Like they would play like throw or whatever fetch with the dog and it would literally never stop playing. And he's like, I have to stop the dog because you'd watch the dog and be like, dude, the dog is going to die from hyperventilating. It's going insane. And he's like, I could do this for another hour and a half and the dog will die. Like there's something to them that they don't know when to stop. Even when they're feeling it going crazy, they just can't not go get the ball. Like there's something to them that they don't have.
You gotta
like,
go for it.
Yeah, it's like, dude, the ball. Gotta get the ball.
Gotta get it.
back.
Gotta get it.
Yeah, that's insane. And like, I got a cat like, dude, it had to be like 2012 or something, and I still have the cat, and she doesn't look like she's aged a day.
Oh wow.
I
What
hope
is
it's that way
going
with
on
my
there?
cat.
I think
Yeah.
I have like a vampire cat or something. Like she's nothing's changed about her.
Still the same.
Still the same.
That's awesome.
We have no idea how old she was when we got her because my sister got her from just the neighborhood. She started showing up at my sister's house. And I text my sister, or my sister texted me one day and was like, what are you up to? And I was like, I think I'm going to the kennel to get a cat just because I want a cat. And she's like, well, you have always wanted my cat. Why don't you just come get it? And I was like, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And we don't know anything about that cat other than it just started showing up at her house. No idea the age. We assumed it was like 3 because it looks like a full-grown cat when I got it. And now it's like 15, 6. Damn, what year are we in? 25?
Yeah.
So it's like a 16 or 17-year-old cat. Assuming. Motherfucker looks like it's 3 weeks old. It like moves around. Like it'll be like right before bedtime you shut off the lights and it's like, and it's just like freaking out. And I'm like, where was all this energy all day?
How old is your cat, Rob? How long have you had your cat?
Probably like 3 years, 3 or 4 years.
Dang.
Yeah, cats are a long-term investment. I had no idea. I thought it was like, I'll have
Well,
this
what's
cat
the
3 or 4
lifespan
years.
normally?
I think the average lifespan is between like 13 to like 17 years or something like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I didn't know that when I got a cat initially. I was like, it'll be gone before I get a new house or a new place or whatever.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, yeah, that shit's going to crush me because you've been with me so long.
I mean, obviously, like cats, sounds like they live a lot longer than dogs. Like I'm a sucker for animals. I hate seeing animals hurt or like literally on my way here on I-10, I saw like a dead, what's it called? The
homeless?
No, the bull. It was like not a bulldog. The ones that they're always saying are like aggressive.
Pit bull?
Pit bull.
Yeah.
I saw a dead pit bull on the side of the road and literally like killed that last hour I was driving. I was like, I was bummed. Like seeing animals like that just hurts my soul, man.
Yeah.
It does. Especially like household animals. Like, I don't know why. I'm more partial to animals than humans. Like I could watch First 48 and be like, oh yeah, that guy probably deserved that.
Yeah.
but a dog, it's like he didn't deserve that.
That's
yeah.
true.
You know. But
Do you think that would change if we had like no language barrier? If we
like if we could talk to animals?
Yeah, Callie, what the fuck are you doing? And she's like, I had a shit. What do you want me to do?
You fucking left me here, bro.
Yeah,
you
it's
locked the
like-
door.
Then I
their
think
innocence
you'd
Of course
would
I'm
be
gonna shit
gone
on
a
the
little
floor.
bit.
Yeah, I think you'd be a little more relaxed and like, she was an asshole her last 30
Yeah.
years.
She deserved it.
I do miss her, but like, she was on her way out, you know? It would be sick if like you had like a timeline of like the last 6 months of its life, it could talk to you.
Yeah.
And then you would know like, oh, you can talk now? So there's 6 months.
It would
Have
be
a
so
clock.
much easier if I could talk to my dog because I'd be like, hey, do you need to go potty? Dude, I need to go potty right now.
You know that kind of
Open
deals
the
you can make
door.
with your animals? You can be
Yeah.
like, I will give you the world if you just do not fucking chew on this couch. You chew on this couch, I'm taking away fucking cans. You're not eating cans no more. You're dry food only.
Dude, we'd have like a Planet of the Apes situation if animals could talk.
That's right.
Like the
Yeah,
dogs
they would
they would
overthrow
wise
us.
up. They'd be like, why am I letting this human dictate my life? I can talk.
Yeah, they'd be like, I'm sorry, who are you?
Yeah, like
Is that Family Guy when they give the little dog like the power of speech?
I can't remember.
And
That's
he, like,
Brian. Brian has speech the entire time.
Well, no, but there's another one where it's like a poodle. Maybe it's
Brian is like the
Brian
only...
gets
Rick
a
and-
dog at
it's
one
Rick and
episode.
Morty.
Oh.
I never
It's
saw
Rick
it.
and Morty. Because the poodle like gets like a robot. He builds a robot body so that he can like walk and do like human
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And then he builds an arm and he gives the power of like speech to all the other dogs and they take over.
My favorite Rick and Morty anything is the interdimensional cable. Where
I remember that.
He's like, you guys think this is good TV? Check this out. And he rewires the TV, and it's like all these different dimensions and like different television shows within these dimensions. And there's like one where he's like, come on down to Real Fake Doors. He goes, you think this is a real door? It's not. It's a fake door. I thought this shit was so
That's fucking good.
stupid, but so funny.
Dude, there's so many shows. I wish I had the time to watch all that shit. Like, I have not watched Rick and Morty.
Oh,
I've seen some of the stuff, so I'm aware of what it is.
Yeah.
But, like, not...
If you're bored,
episode.
watch like the first 2 seasons of Rick and Morty, and you will just laugh because it's the most ridiculous, bizarre stuff, but it's hilarious. I watched it because somebody was telling me it was like about, they were completely wrong, but they said that the characters were based off of Back to the Future. I think like Rick was
Oh,
like
yeah.
the scientist, and Morty's supposed
You
to be
could
Marty.
see it.
Yeah, but I thought like, oh, is this like an animated show about like Back to the Future, and they just go back in time and do all these wacky things? I was completely wrong. It's way more crazy than that, and it's hilarious. and I watched it, and I watched that show in the fire department like a lot. Like on down days, I'm watching Rick and Morty, but I haven't watched it in a while.
Dude, there's so many things that I want to watch that people have said like, oh, this is an all-time show. Like, I just recently tried to start Sopranos.
Oh,
I tried that one too.
I'm like 2 episodes in, and I'm like, this just feels so tame. Like,
you got it.
Really
Okay,
happening.
Have you watched The Office?
Yes.
Okay, season 1 we can all agree is not that good.
Yeah,
Okay,
skip
watch
it every
your mouth.
time.
What? No. Whoa.
Oh,
What are you talking about, dude?
Season 1 has nothing. There's no character development. It's not even consistent
I
with
agree.
who the characters end up becoming.
The Office got amazing at season 3.
Season 2. You're right, but season 2 is when they start actually having consistent stories from one episode to the other.
Sopranos is the same way.
Yeah, they're putting a storyline together. Like, these are the characters and how they move forward. Yeah, I get that, but I so appreciate it because I appreciate season 1 more than I do like the last season. So it's like I like that one more than I like the Andy era.
I don't like the Andy era.
I like some of the eras within it. Like if you could do like micro eras, because it's like Robert California, and then you have Will Ferrell's character,
D'Angelo.
I had
Wallace,
such high
right?
hopes for his
Vickers.
character.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I had such high hopes for his character. I
Yeah.
thought he was going to come in, he was going to take the show over,
Dude,
and it was going to be
he's
great.
so funny though.
Yeah.
When he does the basketball thing, he's like, this for the troops.
Or when he did the Eva Essence like dance.
Yes, he's
like-
in like the interpretive dance.
The balls.
Yeah.
The juggling.
Yeah, I thought his character was going to come in and kind of be like a lasting character, but he came in and was gone so
big
fast.
to be a lasting character.
Yeah.
Like he was too big at that point. I feel like for it to be like a.
I'm a big Will Ferrell fan. I think everything he does is great.
I just watched Stranger Than Fiction last night.
Serious
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
Dude, honestly,
Yeah,
slept
not that
on.
bad.
I don't feel anyone talks about it.
No, it was really good. It was one of
Yeah.
more his serious roles.
It
One
was
of his
serious
first
and it was
serious
still
roles.
funny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a lot of really, and you're like a love thing element to it that you're like, damn, he's like so awkward, but yeah.
He did one with Paul Rudd recently called The Shrink, where his neighbor was like a shrink, and it was a serious show, and like he's just kind of like messing with his head all the time. Again, it's weird seeing Will Ferrell in a serious role because he just has a goofy persona.
Dude, one of the best Will Ferrell movies ever that I feel like also never gets talked about, Everything Must Go.
Yeah.
I never watched that one.
Fucking good, dude.
Yeah.
He has this relationship with this little kid, and it's like, it's just really good. The way it unfolds, and like, you can relate to it because he basically loses everything in a day,
Yeah.
and he has to live on his lawn.
Hmm.
It's fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, I super highly suggest it.
Will Ferrell is just, I think, I quote Step Brothers and probably Talladega Nights on a daily basis.
One of the best stepbrother lines is when he's like talking about Robert, and he's like, if he gets in my face, I'm gonna drop that
motherfucker.
Like, that is so fucking. I say that quote to this dude I work with, but he's 20, and he's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Who's Robert? And I'm like, never mind. It's
He
like
doesn't get it.
He's never seen Step Brothers.
Oh man, that's
I'm
crazy.
like, you're 20, dude. Get on that.
You know what's funny is that movie when it came out was not like well received, and then it grew on everyone like a fungus.
Yeah.
Like it just like it's one of the most quotable movies. I feel like you want to go do karate in the garage. Like anytime I hear that, I'm like,
You better not put your
Yup.
nutsack on my drum set.
yeah.
It's like,
Or my favorite one is why are you sweaty? I was watching Cops.
It
You know,
is
like that
fucking
one.
good.
That one, dude. So
Oh,
funny.
man.
That was like the last good comedy era. I think it's
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's coming back, but
Yeah.
Step Brothers, Superbad,
Yeah.
Tropic Thunder,
I don't know
like
what.
all the
Tropic Thunder.
yeah, dude.
I don't know what year Yes Man was.
That was
Oh,
good,
is that
dude.
with Jim Carrey?
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
This is a good movie.
That is such a good
I love that
movie,
he's just working at the bank. He's just like, yes, you get the loan.
yeah.
You get a loan. Like he's just saying,
No, dude, when he tapes his face all up,
yeah.
because the other guy's like playing with him through the window, and he just tapes, and he's like making an insane face. That was
Yeah.
funny.
Another movie of his, Jim Carrey's, was Fun with Dick and Jane.
That was a good one.
That one was a great one.
Dude,
Slept on in my opinion.
That slept on. Also, I Love You, Philip Morris. Have
Yeah.
you seen that?
Yeah. I
Oh
haven't
my
seen that.
god. He plays a gay guy that is a con artist and like hustles his way into like crazy jobs and out of prison, in prison. Like, dude, it's so fucking good. It's him and the dude that played Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor, yes. It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning of the movie, there's like a crazy scene that you don't expect to happen that you're just like, what the fuck am I watching? It's like 2 minutes in and I don't want to give it away, but it's like fucking crazy. That's when you immediately find out he's gay. You're like, whoa, okay.
The one thing that he did that disappointed me was the sequel to Dumb and Dumber. That disappointed me. I agree that we want more sequels of good movies, but it's like sometimes you just gotta leave it alone. You just
don't know that it's not gonna.
If Happy Gilmore 2 disappoints me, I'm gonna be very upset.
It most likely will.
It's not ever gonna be the original.
Yeah,
I hope not.
I mean, Joe Dirt 2. I never even watched it. I watched like the first 30 minutes.
I did watch it, and again, disappointed. I was disappointed.
Do you think there's ever been a good sequel?
Empire Strikes Back.
Well, that's not
of a comedy movie.
Of a comedy?
Well, yeah, I would say that, but also like I don't feel like that's fair because it's like there's
Next Friday
of those movies.
I would say Next Friday was a good a sequel to Friday.
No, but you think it's better than the first? Is what I'm saying.
Oof. No, I don't think Friday. I don't think Next Friday is better than Friday.
Yeah.
I will say I think I like the second Ace Ventura better than the first one.
Nature Calls?
Yeah. When Nature Calls. I mean, it's kind of weird.
I think I think that's a fair. Yeah, I do. I love the first one.
Yeah, but it's all just Miami Dolphins and all just one investigation.
Yeah.
Where when Nature Calls is like tons of shit, it's kind of in its element.
I like when he's doing this with the guy. He's like fucking. He has the knocked out guy on him, and he's acting like he's like a robe guy. And he's like,
Actually, what do y'all think about this? Wayne's World 2.
Not as good.
Not as good, but I wouldn't say it was bad.
For the second one?
Wayne's World 2 is where Christopher Walken is like the bad. He's like the record producer that comes in, but
with the girl that sings really well.
Yes,
yeah.
but
he's got to put on a concert.
There were memorable moments in that movie, like the part where he was like, "If you book them, they will come."
Yeah.
Like
and the crying Indian guy, isn't that the same?
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the festival.
I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's better, but I don't think it's bad.
Austin Powers.
The Spidey Shagged Me?
Yeah,
that was the best one.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
That is a good comedy sequel. I didn't even think about that. There's 3, right? There's Austin Powers, and then third one is Goldmember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the third one is the Beyonce.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought there was 4. I don't know why I thought that.
Best sequel of all time, though, outside the comedy, it's got to be Empire Strikes Back. Better than Star Wars.
He's holding strong to that.
Yeah, but it's Star Wars, so it's not that great.
Dude, I'm so upset right now that you said that. on TV.
He said, on God, dog.
On TV.
I'm trying to think of one that is truly like the sequel is more famous than the original.
A sequel that's more famous than... Longest Yard.
Terminator 2 is
the Longest Yard, that's a remake.
Yeah, but it's better than the original, I would say, probably.
Yeah, but you're floating in like weird territory there because it's not a sequel.
Okay.
It's just a reimagined version of the first one.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm going to go ahead and say Terminator 2 is the best sequel of all time.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Damn, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Judgment Day? Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Even though the first one was good, but it
wasn't as good.
But if you you watch the first one compared to Terminator 2, the budget obviously is vastly different.
Yeah. The first one is a good here's the story of Lob Up. And then the second one, liquid metal. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Also, for you to not know that that's what that character was going to be, like get shot and just.
However, I will say that is a franchise that could not recover. It seems like after
it needs to stop.
Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Now they're making movies where they're going back to the other movies. Did you see that?
No.
Like, I can't remember which one because they are just like the Matrix, where it's like every fucking name is R word or something. It's like revolutionary, revolutions, revolutioner or something. But it's like
more revolutionary.
One of the Terminators goes back to. It's either Terminator 1 or 2, and it's like they're trying to help the bad guy, but it's like you're not supposed to see that in the first one, but you are seeing. It's like so confusing that I'm like, what the fuck are we?
Someone told me, you talk about remakes. Someone told me how they pitched this idea to me one time that I thought was hilarious.
They're like talking ogre.
No.
Go with me. Has a donkey, best friend.
Speaking of Back to the Future, someone had pitched to me how cool it would have been while Shia LaBeouf was still young to recast and redo Back to the Future with Jim Carrey as Doc and Shia LaBeouf as Marty. And I just, for some reason, like I could picture it and see it. And I was like, that would be cool. There's so many cool movies I feel like that could be done right now that could be remade.
See, that would almost look like visually. I think that would kind of look like Flubber. Do you remember that movie?
Oh man, dude.
Because he was like he was in a coat the whole time.
Yeah.
Green goo, which would kind of be like what's around his mouth and like the shit they were doing.
Oh,
Flubber was crazy.
What a great actor, dude.
Yeah.
Oh man, a comedian too.
Yeah.
It sucks. I forget he's dead.
Dude, it's crazy to watch his stand-up comedy, too, because it never felt like it was, like, bits. It felt like he was just ADHDing the fuck out of a set.
He's just going wild the whole time.
Yeah, he just, like... You're like, if cocaine was embodied on film, that is what I think that would look like.
What was the one where he dressed up like...
Mrs. Doubtfire?
Miss Doubtfire.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, what a good movie.
Dude,
what
that set up, like... what is the Clumps movie Eddie Murphy did?
The which one?
Where he did like 4 characters, but
Norbit? Was it Norbit? No.
Nutty Professor.
Nutty Professor.
Like there was like 3. Big Mama's House.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like all these movies are like you're playing the same.
Yeah. Well, that's what Tyler
Perry
does with the Medea stuff.
Yeah.
He's playing like every character.
Dude, maybe Medea 2 was better than 1. What was Medea 2? Is that Medea Boo?
I never watched any of those.
I saw only the first one.
Yeah.
Or maybe the first one.
Me
I don't
and
know which
Hilton,
one.
like, this had to be in, like, 2017. We went to this, like, Halloween party, dressed up as nurses, and we were going to see a girl he was interested in at the time. And we got there, and the girl just did not act interested in him at all. I don't know if it's because we were dressed as girls, and, like, this was her party, and she was like, what the fuck,
What
dude?
are you doing?
Yeah. But he was like, I'm trying to get her to pay attention to me, and I'm like, dude, she ain't into you, bro. We need to get the fuck out of here. So we end up leaving, and he's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know. It's like, we could go to the movies. So we went and watched Medea Boo.
Is it like that's the Halloween?
It was the one that was there that night, and there's nothing else like that was like better, I guess.
Yeah.
So we went and watched that in nurses like outfits, but
that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was okay.
You know what I really miss is soundtracks to movies. Like, dude, Triple X soundtrack, hard. Had like Hatebreed.
Dude, The Mummy.
The Mummy. Dude, with Godsmack. Or no, Scorpion King. Scorpion King is Godsmack one.
If you watch any of the like non-canon Dragon Ball Z movies, they'll have like Korn.
Yeah.
It's like you're
one had Disturbed on it.
Disturbed.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck? This is dope as shit.
Yeah.
What was the other movie? Oh, Freddy vs. Jason had a crazy soundtrack. Chimera.
From Autumn to Ashes was on that.
Autumn to Ashes. They had there was another band, El Nino. There was one other band that Spineshank, another cool new metal band that has been forgotten in the to some people. Spineshank, they had some hits.
The Crow.
The Crow,
soundtrack.
Another good one.
I still need to see that.
You've never seen The Crow?
I haven't, but I think last time you were on, y'all had just saw the new Crow and hated it.
Yeah.
Didn't like it.
Yeah. So
I don't think
like,
it's ever gonna get.
Should I even watch that one at all?
You should watch the old one.
Yes.
Yeah, the original one for sure.
But don't watch the new one at all.
I mean, see, what they did wrong was they made him the same character as in the first one. Because after the first Crow, they had like 2 more that was the same concept, but it was a different guy. So it was like it could happen to anybody.
Yeah.
There's not just one Crow guy. And so they could have just done a new Crow movie and have him be a different dude.
Yeah.
And all modern. But they went with Eric Draven and same girlfriend, same story, but they just like ruined it.
Jason Momoa was supposed to be the Crow instead of the guy
Bill
Skarsgård. Yeah, I don't know what happened or how it fell apart, but he was cast to be the Crow.
You know who would be good? And again, I don't know the movie at all, but visually, I think of Jared Leto would probably visually pull off the Crow well.
Yeah.
Just from like he has a sharp looking face. It's not like Jason Momoa, I think, has too round of a face. Like things
look too big.
Round. It needs to be sharp and like He really took a bad thing with the Joker. Like, that was the worst Joker I've ever fucking seen.
I Yes, in Suicide Squad, I did not like his Joker. However, at the end of the Snyder Cut, when it's everything has already kind of happened and Superman has lost his way and the whole world is in ashes and they have to kind of band together to kind of stop him, even though that movie will never see the end of where that movie would have gone because obviously the Snyder universe is over.
Yeah.
But when Ben Affleck's Batman meets up with Jared Leto's Joker in that alternate timeline, that Joker was cool. Like his version in that moment was. Have you seen that?
No.
Okay, you need to see that.
I didn't see that movie at all, even the original.
Just to,
because I'm not a DC guy. I'm like a Marvel idiot.
So I love them both. But when he did the Snyder Cut, which is basically Zack Snyder kind of like, hey, this was my version of the universe. Yeah. It's over. Here's the last footage I have. He put it all together. At the very end of that movie, there is an alternate timeline where Lois Lane obviously died, and the world is now a barren wasteland because Superman has laid waste to it, basically, and only certain superheroes have survived. Well, Batman, I think Deathstroke, and like a couple others have survived, and they team up. They're teaming up to kind of solve the problem, and the Joker is there, and you see a monologue, basically, not a monologue, but an exchange between Ben Affleck's Batman and Jared Leto's Joker for the first time. And it is probably one of the coolest moments between the Joker and Batman in a movie I've seen.
So they're going to have to pair up together?
It was kind of like they were like, hey, like, we got to work together to undo everything that has just happened. It was like a little clip at the end of the movie of Justice League, the Snyder Cut.
I've always wanted to see that because I saw like I don't know the guy's name on YouTube, but he tells you storylines that never happened. Were supposed to happen.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but he said that. He was like, this was supposed to be how this was going to go. And then, like, I guess the crowd got really pissed that, like, Snyder's original plan didn't get to come out, like, the way it was supposed to.
Exactly.
And that's why Snyder Cut eventually came out.
Yep.
But he was saying, like, all sorts of shit with, like, the way that's supposed to unfold. But the thing that's so aggravating about this shit is, like, they need to lock somebody down for, like, years to actually pull off storylines and not lose, like, Hulks or lose, like...
Yeah.
You're losing... Like, that's why the original run of Marvel made the most sense and was easy.
I loved Edward Norton's Hulk.
Dude, there were so many good, like, one-off characters, but it's like they couldn't nail people down. And, like, again, that guy went into why there's not a sequel to him, and it's like they had a difference on opinion on where the character should go.
The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, there's 3 Spider-Mans. There's 1 Iron Man. There's 1 Thor. There's, like, 1 Guardian of the Galaxy team.
So the story, again, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but the story with Marvel, the reason why we have so many Spider-Mans is when Marvel was going bankrupt in the late 90s. Yeah, they divided up all their movie properties, and when that happened, Marvel lost control of a lot of different characters to different companies. Yeah. So we had Fox's X-Men for a long time. We had that crazy Ghost Rider Nicolas Cage movie. We had Ben Affleck's Daredevil.
Coming soon.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to come back as Ghost Rider?
That's what I heard as the Secret Wars one. Not the Doomsday, but the Secret Wars.
That's the cool thing that because there's a little bit of Marvel fatigue going on, I feel like a lot of people believe.
Yeah.
But what I really love that they have done is they have found a way with the multiverse to go back and pull some of these characters from the late 90s and early 2000s that we thought were gone for good.
Yeah.
Like to see Jennifer Gardner's Elektra and Deadpool was really sick. Blade came back.
Didn't know that.
Crazy. And in the movie...
Oh, no, it is. I spoiled it. I'm sorry. Damn it. I am so sorry.
No.
Anyway, Blade's back. For a little bit.
Do what?
Should we not say anything else about that?
Oh, I'm not gonna.
Have you not? You've not seen do you not see the new Deadpool?
Haven't seen the new Deadpool.
Okay, I won't say anything. There's still a lot of surprises.
Okay, I'll just say one thing about the Blade thing, and it's funny. It's like Deadpool and him are in a car and they're driving, and he's like, I thought you were never coming back. So he's like kind of breaking the fourth wall, talking to Blade.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I think he said something about him being a different guy, and he's like, I'm the only Blade.
Yeah, he's like, there's only one Blade.
Yeah. Which I don't know if you knew, but like Blade was supposedly going to be played by Idris Elba, I think.
Yeah,
I remember. Yeah,
And they
were
kept-
talking
Or
about
not
replacing
Idris
him.
Elba, it's the Marshala.
yeah. He played another Marvel character in the Luke Cage series.
Yeah.
He played a villain,
Which
Cottonmouth.
I
That was
could
his name.
visually see him being Blade, but
Yeah.
it's like Wesley Snipes.
It's not. He's
brother.
Blade.
Yeah,
It's just like
Blade.
Wolverine, dude. Like
Yeah,
Hugh Jackman
Dude,
is
it's gotta
Wolverine.
be him forever, unless y'all start to play with like girl Wolverine.
Yeah.
That's different because nobody's ever
X-32.
done that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Or
something-
X-23. Sorry.
You're fine. I wasn't
Yeah.
gonna hold you.
Yeah. It's on record. X-23.
I was gonna text you later and be like, he had no idea what he's saying. He's like fucking X-32.
What a nerd. Who's X? Yeah, what a nerd. What a
No.
loser. No, I'm a huge comic fan, the Marvel fan. Like my favorite, the whole reason I even got into it was the 90s Amazing Spider-Man show on Fox Kids. I remember that used to come on. There's guitar solos. There's all kinds of villains and stuff. They had all of like Spider-Man's best rogues gallery villains and were in that show.
Yeah.
And like that opened the whole door for me into the Marvel world. Batman and DC I found later, but I'm like you. Like I'm more partial to Marvel than DC, and that has nothing to do with the Marvel universe. But in my opinion, I was so stoked when it finally started happening. Like we're getting like Iron Man, we're getting Captain America, we're getting all these characters that would, like aesthetically on screen, you would think would be the cheesiest things to see. Like Thor. Like who would want to see a Thor movie? But they've cracked the code.
They
figured it out.
They did something really cool with Thor and made him like not just have to be serious, which it took them a movie or two to kind of, he can be funny.
Yeah.
Not just be a heartthrob.
He can be fun.
And be like confusing or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that's what is most appealing to me. It feels like DC tries to be funny.
Yeah.
But then it's like Marvel has people that are naturally funny. Like Star-Lord. What is his real name?
Chris Pratt?
Chris Pratt. Could be one of the most like not trying to be funny people.
Yeah.
Like his Parks and Rec character.
Yeah, Andy.
Holy shit.
He's one of my favorite characters.
Holy shit.
He's one of my favorite characters in that show. I love the scene where he's like training for the police academy and he's on the track and he like runs like a couple laps, takes his shirt off, and goes, "Everything hurts. Why am I doing this?"
Dude, I like the one where he's like looking up, like he's trying to figure out if somebody's sick.
The network connectivity problem.
It says you have network connectivity. Dude, that or like the one that never made it to air, and that's they were talking about somebody making a comeback.
Oh, Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, and it's like, well, why not Kim Kardashian? Because she had come on her back. And they're like, it broke. It was a blooper because of obviously how crazy he went on that line. But like that, there's so many fucking.
I love the one where it's like a meme. It's like there's a meme out there where it's like when you take your kids to the store and it's Andy with Amy Poehler's character, and he's like, "What's this do?" And he pulls down the coffee machine. All the beans are flying out on the floor.
Yeah.
That shit's so funny.
He had a really sick storyline, like sleeping in a sandpit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you got hurt in the sandpit. It's like, and he can't do anything. He's just like, fucking up. But
I love that. I love
Ron
that
Swanson, that was the best
Oh
character.
yeah, Ron Swanson.
Of course.
he was so convincing as that character that you were like, that is him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's no way you meet
Nick
him and
Offerman?
he's not that guy.
Yeah.
And he is. He's a woodworker, and
He absolutely
did
is
a
that
whole
guy.
book
It's
about
crazy.
it.
The most iconic line from him was when he was in the Lowe's and the guy's like, "Hey, can I help you?" And he's like, "I know more than you." And just walks off.
Yeah.
That's the most dad thing I've ever heard. Yeah, great show though.
Yeah.
On par with The Office by all
I
means.
have to thank Robby every time I see him. Like, he initially, and I really wish I could remember the episode.
The first one I showed you.
Yeah, because like I remember you showing me The Office because you're like, dude, it's the best show ever, and I was like, all right, I'll watch it. I hear all about it. We went over to his house. He shows me an episode, and I'm like, how do I tell him this sucks? Like, this sucks. I was like, I do not understand it, and it is not even like funny. Like I don't know. It's like, but I like Robby. I don't want to ruin this. Like, and like afterwards, I was like, I don't know, dude.
How far do y'all go back?
Me and Robby?
Yeah.
What, 2013 maybe? 12?
I have no
13?
idea. I will go with whatever he said.
I was telling him I remember when we used to work at the mall. I remember seeing you all the time in the
Where
mall.
did you work at?
I worked at Journeys Underground at the Cordova, or is it Cordova Mall?
Yeah. When did you work there?
Dude, fuck my timelines. To think back the timeline, like I worked there like December of 2014, going into 15.
Okay, so I had been there for a while. I was like 09.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't remember. I think it's summer of 09 is when I started at the mall.
Yeah.
You were a Journeys dude.
Yeah, I was
for
there
sure.
for a fucking minute.
I remember my boss at the time. She had like no faith in me. It was name, I think Mariah. Yeah, dude, she was my boss. Like, she was so nice to me, but I was just like, I was a bad employee. I'll just be honest. I was a bad employee. I had zero desire to be there. I was just doing it just to do it. And she's like, you got to step up your sales numbers. I was like, I'll walk up to like a family and be like, hey, so you guys want some shoes? And the mom would look at me and be like, I don't need your help. Yeah. I know what my kids need. I'm just like, I suck at this. Like, I cannot sell shoes. I am terrible. Like, working after that job, working in the warehouse with Ben, like that's when I was like, this is the kind of job I need. Just give me a task and just let me do that.
Yeah.
You know, I can't try to sway people.
Dude, the mall is not for everybody, and it's like, I think it's like that concept where everybody says you should work in fast food just for like 3 months so you understand the pressure and like how shitty that job is. I think the same thing with a mall job. Like, if you have to run like a commissions job in the mall, you should have to do that for like 3 months. It should be like your internship before you go to college or something. So you have like a humble experience. You're like, yo, I kind of suck and I've been shitty to these people, but now I get it because I work there.
Yeah.
Like, it gives you a different perspective. It also, like, when you work with other people that get really good at being like a chameleon.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, can I trust this person? Because you're like, you're way too good about like just flipping on a switch and being someone else.
Oh, it's like car salesmen.
Yeah.
That's like the scariest ones because they're going to rack you into a freaking car payment and now you have like $20,000 in debt and you don't even know how because the guy sold you so good, you know, or guy or gal, whoever.
It's like that Andy guy from YouTube, the bald guy where he's like, you got a 6-pack? Why are you even living? Sell me this car.
Oh, yeah, I've seen his video. He's a little intense for sure.
Dude.
Yeah, I definitely remember you. Like, that was the first time I encountered you was the mall. And I was your tattoos, too. I was like, this guy must like hardcore. He's got like hardcore because he has tattoos.
We didn't know each other before the mall?
No.
Really?
I remember seeing you at the Handlebar. And then I saw you at the mall, and then that's when I made the connection. I was like, oh, this guy goes to shows. Yeah. That's how...
I think at that time, Mariah lived with me.
Maybe that's what it is.
Like, she was a roommate in a house we lived in. Like, she was an upstairs roommate.
Yeah.
And I recognized you, but I thought, like, that was, like, when we started knowing each other. Like, because I think you were... I don't remember... Is y'all's first band Safe Harbor?
So we were in Why We Fight.
That's what it was.
Yeah. And then... when Dylan left, the Dylan Chisholm, when he left, we just were like, let's keep it a 5-piece and we'll redo the band a different way. And then I feel like the Safe Harbor era was more when I got out and about. While We Fight, I was still living in Navarre. I kind of was just come and do my thing and break out. And then, but Safe Harbor, we're all living in Pensacola together, all working jobs, meeting people. So
I was never in Why We Fight.
You were in it, but not like... You were in it?
No.
Yeah, because you did the tour with us.
Well, I was filling in.
But to us, you were in it. And I know, you want to know how I know that? Because when you came to play bass, I remember it was like, Dylan was like, yeah, dude, you can audition.
Yeah.
And all of us were like, what is he talking about? Like, we want him to just play. Like, be in
When
the
do
band.
you consider, because I've always wondered this, because you see people, like I've known people that tour with big bands, but... like when you think of that band, you don't think of that person. You think of like the original whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, when is somebody considered part of that band? When they do a recording with them, or like say like y'all are in a band now.
Yep.
So say like Robby gets sick, he can't record or something when y'all are gonna do an album, but like he's been in it since day one. Y'all go 10 more years. Like, is the person who did the recording part of the band, or is it like, well, Robby is actually the guy?
I say no, and the reason, or I say yes, he is still a part of the band, and the reason why is, I'll take Landon for example. Landon is the Plot New, but he's had the same lineup forever.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, it's gotten so like weird nowadays, like Anberlin. So now Maddie Mullins from Memphis Mayfire?
He sings for Amberlin.
He's singing for him, but it's only because the vocalist can't tour right now. And there's a bunch of bands doing that kind of thing where, like, I mean, their promos are with him and everything. They just re-released, like, all their old songs with him. But whenever the other guy's ready to come back, he's still in the band.
I would say...
so, like, do you consider Matty part of the band, or is just, like, he's just filling in? Like, he's not Amberlin?
I'd say he's in Amberlin because is Sammy Hagar just filling in for David Lee Roth?
Yeah, but they did album, didn't they?
They did, yeah, they did.
Yeah, so it's like...
But has Matty done an album with Amberlin?
They re-recorded Amberlin songs.
With him on it?
With him, yeah.
So, like, so this is
That's
coming
different.
From
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
This is coming from a non-musical person.
Okay.
But it's like the perception is like, well, unless they recorded something.
I would...
Just a non-musical perception.
I think it's just...
Y'all are different. You're inside of it.
It's an agreement, because before anyone's getting paid, it's just a matter of, like, do you want to be in the band? Meaning, like, you're in the pictures, you're on the albums, you're doing everything with us. But when bands start getting bigger, when you have royalties, that's why you see these bands that have been 5 or 6 pieces for years. Now they're all like 2-piece, 3-piece, even though they perform with a full band. They don't want to pay these random people a share of their royalties for just playing an instrument live. They're not in the band. They're just filling in.
That's
for
when
shows.
the band stuff starts to suck. When the business part creeps in.
Oh yeah.
The business, the suits. You know.
That's what. So with Why We Fight, that was kind of the same thing. I was doing the rap thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget about it.
I feel like we were begging you to be in the band.
Well, I wasn't ready to do another band.
Drop the fucking rap thing, please.
That's basically what it was.
Get him on an instrument, God.
It's weird how everything worked out. So I saw them at the Handlebar. They were doing like super tight, intricate breakdowns, which I always wanted This Day Will Tell to do, but no one in This Day Will Tell were like writing that kind of stuff.
I have a This Day Will Tell sticker on one of my dressers in my bedroom. So I didn't mean to interrupt, but I think about that every time I see you, and I never say it, and I'm like, oh, this would be sick.
Well, they wouldn't write music like that. They were playing that, and I talked to Forrest about recording my rap stuff, and he was like, you need to talk to George about it. So George recorded my first Feel Good stuff, and then y'all needed a bassist, and I started filling in for that. So it all happened very organically, but weird.
To actually answer your question, I wouldn't be considered a real member of Why We Fight then, because I wasn't on any of the recordings either. I was the original bass player.
But that's just a non-musical person.
Or not the original.
That's how it is. So, like in the music world, what do you consider part of the band?
In our band, in Sick Room, I wrote 90% of it without the... Actually, I'm the only sole writer on the stuff now because all the band members that are in weren't there when I recorded all of it. But I would consider them a part of the band if they're playing shows, they're in the promos. It doesn't really matter who wrote what in my mind, because like you could have a band where you have two members who are the main songwriters, and one guy brings in one song and we just do that whole song that way, and then another person comes in, they bring in another song and they do that whole song that way. But they're both in the same band. They just brought in 2 different songs, and that's theirs and that's this person's, but they still perform it together live. I think that personally, if they're in the photos and they're playing the shows and they're in it consistently, they're an OG, they're a member. I feel like they're an original member.
I think it's just like relationships.
Yeah.
If you're talking to somebody forever, I mean, you're basically dating, but you're not dating.
You're not married.
So you're like,
hey,
you're not married.
You're like, you're dating, that's my girl, but if I cheat, that's not my girl.
Yeah.
You're like, she's just here for the night. Like,
yeah.
Like,
if you're like, will you be my girlfriend?
Yeah.
Can we actually do this? Nothing's changed except that label.
Yeah.
Where I feel like with bands, it's the same thing. Like you're either jamming until someone's like, do you want to be in the band?
Yeah.
And then you just are.
Which is basically how I got Robby. I was like, can you fill in? I was like, do you want to just be in the band? Yeah. And then that was that.
Yeah.
You know?
How do you figure out if you can be in a band? Like, is it just scheduling, or is it like...
This one was different from all the rest because I was filling in, and I was a big fan of his band before I started playing in it because I'm a proud dad.
Yeah.
Brother Chris right here. as soon as I saw them play, I was like, dude, you're killing it. I love it. Like, it's super tight. I love the songs. He first showed me them when he came to Pensacola. Like, it was like in your car, you showed me these songs.
Dude, you gotta check this out.
And I was like stoked because, I mean, it's like dad rock. And I was like, dude, Chris playing dad rock, it's like perfect. But I didn't want to be in another band because I'm busy all the time. I'm doing a lot of different stuff.
Local celebrity.
Yeah. And
yeah, for real.
he asked me to fill in for a show, and so I just practiced with like an acoustic bass at the house on my own time and just learned the songs and then performed. And he kept asking me if I wanted to do the band, and I was like, I don't, I'll just keep filling in for the shows. And then he said the magic words where he was like, just be in the band. It's going to be exactly the same way it is now. You can practice at your house. We trust you to learn the songs. Then we can play shows, and we all have lives. If there's a show that comes up, not everyone can do it, then it's fine. There's no like band drama like there was when we were growing up, where it's all these like strict obligations, and it was just very like, hey, let's play shows for fun.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
And when it's not fun anymore, we will not do it.
Yeah.
So
there's less pressure as an adult because you're more mature. You're
Not
just
to-
like,
not
this
to-
should be fun.
Not to mention, like, I'm grounded by my job and my family. Like, those two things are the most important things to me because I have to do my job in order to feed my family, and then I will not do anything that's going to be detrimental to my family, right? Like anyone should. But, when Safe Harbor, well, to give a recap to people listening, like, we did Why We Fight. We were all coming out of high school. Well, he had This Day Will Tell first, which was... I knew who This Day Will Tell was. Yeah. Local celebrity.
It kind of feels like a Hall of Fame band.
Yeah.
Because you're like, man, that jersey's in the rafters. We all know who that was.
Yeah, exactly. So he had This Day Will Tell. We knew that. When I found the scene and I met the other individuals in Why We Fight, I finally found my way into the scene, and we played, and then he got in the band, and then stuff happened, and we did Safe Harbor, which I think Safe Harbor is like... to describe all of the bucket list things we got to do that I'm still pinching myself, like playing Warped Tour and some of the bands we just opened for, like Ghost Inside. We played with Stick to Your Guns, Mayhem Fest. Like, I got to see Ice-T from across the stage at on the Jägermeister stage, and I'm like, I'm playing the same festival as Ice-T. Like, that's insane. Like, the dude from Law and Order.
He was thinking the same thing. He's like, who's that?
Yeah, who are these guys? To do that, and then... when that band fell apart at the end because were exhausted, we were tired, we were all just like, I was angry because I didn't want it to end, but I think everyone knew, and I just hadn't faced it yet. So when my mind was like, oh, I'm not doing this band thing anymore, I'm gonna go in the complete opposite direction and detach from it completely. So what would be the most unrebellious thing to do? Join the military. So join military, but then I'm doing that for a while, and I start to miss playing music and being around my friends and being a little rebellious and wild. Yeah. And then I got the itch. Like, I want to play. I want to do something. But it's got to be in a way that I can manage my life and still have fun and not break the bank. Because for a lot of people don't understand, they think bands are like this. They have like this rock star like mentality. Like, oh, you're in a band. That must mean you do drugs. You have money and you're able to get away with whatever. Like, it's not like that. It's like the opposite. Like, being in a band like is rough. Like, you don't have any money, no one buys shit to support you. Or the classic, yeah man, like, oh, I support you, but then they don't listen to the songs or they don't buy the merch. Like, it's like that. But what I was getting at was like, being in a band is tough because it's expensive. You don't really have a lot coming back to recoup to keep it going, so you really just gotta love it. And if you don't love it, it just really is. It's pointless. Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna make, and then also not compromising with other people sometimes is nice. It's nice because like in Safe Harbor, we would have arguments sometimes because the five of us are trying to have a democracy to make a song sound what's really good. And a lot of people didn't know at the time, like, oh, in order to have this song, in order to be Safe Harbor, it has to be the five of us, right? Well, you can write other songs, and this could be, oh, Robby brought in this song, or Ben brought in this song, or I brought in this song, or whoever, You could do that, but at that time, it wasn't like that. It was like, I do my parts, and you don't do my parts or whatever. You know, it's a lot like that sometimes in bands. But what's cool about this band is like this is the first time I've ever been on my own. I could do whatever I want.
Yeah.
And that to me was like freedom. Like,
so did you build the band around you? So you were like, hey, I have this concept for this sound. I like you. Do you want to be a part of this? Or was it like you had a group of guys that you're like, y'all want to do something together?
No, it wasn't like that at all. It was so this is what happened. I did 2 songs with George, the old guitar player in Safe Harbor, or one of the members. I did 2 songs with him because at that time I was like, it's like 2020. It's like COVID time frame. Everything's shut down. There's nothing to do. And I remember hitting him up. I was like, you want to write songs? And he's like, yeah. We wrote a few songs. And then I was like, let's go record these. And then when I came back from deployment, because I deployed during COVID, when I came back, he was like, let's record them. So I went and met a guy in Tampa named Austin Coop, who was in a band called Adalia. He has another band called Prison. And he really cool guy. I went in there. He actually lives in LA now. He just recorded Papa Roach and like the new Devil Wears Prada. Yeah. The new Devil Wears Prada song came out. He recorded that. And he's really awesome. And
he recorded Mood Ring.
He recorded Mood Ring.
Heard Mood Ring. Oh my God.
Yes.
Mood Ring is a band or a song?
Band.
That's band. Yeah.
So that's how I found him.
That was a prank, I know.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Like Deftones.
You just say prank if you really fucked something up. You're like, who is that? That was a prank.
Yeah. He recorded Mood Ring, which I found, and I was like, I want to record this, and that's how I found him. But then I found out he played in Adalia, and Safe Harbor opened for Adalia back in the day, and I was like, oh, cool. Like, I didn't know you were in that band. But anyway, long story short, we did these 2 songs, and Robby was a part of that as well. We did those 2 songs, and then that kind of went away, and I was bummed again. I was like, man, we just got these 2 cool songs, and now we're not doing anything with it. And I was like, I got to do something. So then I was like, I could do things on my own. Like, why don't I just do it myself? And then I sat down. I had James, a buddy of mine, who also was in a weird place. He needed an outlet, and I asked him if he wanted to be a part of it. I wrote the majority of it, but he contributed like a lot of stuff too. And I convinced him. I was like, hey, do you want to come to Tampa and legitimately record this? Because he was in California. We wrote the whole thing over FaceTime.
Wow.
Yeah, I wrote the whole thing over FaceTime. But I was like, come to Tampa. Let's just record it. If we never play shows or do anything with it, great. Let's just do a studio band, be an internet band. It'll be fun. We'll do it. Came down. We did it with Austin. We made the EP or whatever. And then I was like, let's do a couple more. So then we did a couple more songs. And then I got orders and found out I was coming to Panama City. And when I came to Panama City, and the War Universe has a way of doing what it does, he was like, dude, I'm getting out of the Navy. I'm moving home. And home for him is Navarre, which is only like an hour and a half from Panama City. I was like, this is the time. Like, we got to play shows. Because I was itching, dude. I wanted to play so bad.
Yeah.
And finally, I got him. And we both ended up, that's summer of 23, both ended up in the Panhandle. We got together, and we were like, we got to find a drummer. And I just started, like, hitting everyone I knew up, like, in the scene. I was like, do you know a drummer? Do you know a drummer? Because I've only played with one drummer for, like, 9 years. That was Ben. And Ben was amazing. Like, he's still amazing. But I found a guy named Kyle, and then we started jamming.
Kyle just took that real hard. He's like, oh, Ben, again.
Kyle, amazing drummer, awesome dude. And we started jamming, got to know each other, and then I was just like, what better situation? Hey, I have all the songs, they're all done, everything's recorded, the names there, everything is packaged for you. All I need you to do is play drums. And he was just like, this is an ace in the hole, like, I'm doing it. Yeah. So then he found another guy named Kellen who played bass, and we got him in the band, and then we started playing, and then Robby came out to our first show in Fort Walton. But James had to leave the band because he had to go back to Oregon because he had some family stuff. So when he left, that was like perfect opportunity to get Robby into the band. So I was like, hey, you want to play bass? Or move Kellen over to guitar. Do you want to play bass? And he's like, only if it's like convenient.
He likes to play hard to get, for sure.
Yeah, but I
played very hard to get.
Yeah,
he's a big fish in a small pond.
But it's like I said, everyone in the band has a job or a life, and I was like, we're only going to do this if it's not going to break the bank, if it's fun and cool opportunities are coming our way that we can't say no to. And so far, the best part is we can say no to whatever we want. We just haven't wanted to say no because it's been fun. This has been the most stress-free band I've ever been in because it's like if I want to do something, great. If I don't want to do it, it's not hurting anything. Where like back in the day, like bands like mandatory band practice Wednesday 9:30. It's like, why do we have a practice? We don't have any shows booked. Like, what are we doing? Like, you know, that's how some bands are. Some bands are very meticulous.
And with what you sent me, I don't know if that's like
you can talk
or whatever.
Who cares?
Did you show him? Did you show him Amends?
I showed him the whole. I sent him the whole album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sent him a list back of the ones that I was like, dude, these are fucking bangers.
Yeah.
Is there like a timeline for that? I know those are.
That's the best part. Like, I'm just doing it whenever it's right.
Word.
Yeah. Like, there's 3 songs out right now. Live Again, Better Side, and Let Me Go. Those 3 songs came out already, but there's still 4 more. And one's coming out next month. There's a song called No Way Out that's coming out next month, June 27th. And we're going to premiere it on 97X in Panama City.
Fuck yeah.
Which is really sick. So RBG, if he ever hears this, he's the man. Sport the band. The band hasn't really even been around that long. Been maybe over a year as far as playing shows.
Yeah.
But that dude saw us play and was like, you guys want to be on the radio? Yeah. I was like, I can be on the radio? Like, fuck yeah. Like, so he's super awesome. So shout out to him. But we do have a song coming out next month. It'll be June 27th. It's going to premiere on 97X, which is awesome. And they'll come out everywhere online, you know.
Is there you know what this kind of feels like for y'all to get on the radio? Have you ever seen the movie Airheads?
Yeah, with Adam Sandler?
Brother,
yeah.
this feels like that.
Dude, we should take over the radio station. That's a great idea.
Yeah. That's a fucking amazing movie. But is there ever a plan, or have y'all ever thought of, like, what happens if this just blows up? Is that a dangerous thing to think about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then don't you also have to
delusions
sort
of grandeur?
Like, game plan?
Yeah.
Delusions of grandeur?
I don't know. I mean,
what if it blows up and it's like, hey, you have an opportunity, like, we would like to sign you, would like to tour you. Like,
we actually talked about this one time, and him and I both came to the conclusion that, like, just because you get signed and you have those opportunities doesn't mean the grass is going to be greener on the other side.
No.
Yeah, it's a different hustle.
Yeah, it is. It's like,
I think everybody thinks you're going to become Bring Me the Horizon.
Exactly.
And you're going to go for 20 fucking years.
They have no idea how fortunate and lucky and how much work goes into being at a level like that.
Yeah.
It's unreal. Like, and I'm sure those bands would agree that, like, I only know of, like, maybe, like, a finite amount of bands that got the magic hand where it came in and everything just blossomed perfectly. But a lot of bands are on the grind.
Dude, even some of the bigger bands that you're like, oh, they're the biggest band in the world, even got a shit hand. Like, A Day to Remember, like the record label they were on, like,
Victory.
Yeah, like that whole scenario,
Mm-hmm.
like, but you don't look at it, like, we don't see that side, or if you don't
they took
look
a risk.
at shit like that, you're just like, oh, they're millionaires, they're huge.
Yeah.
No, like, crazy shit's happening to them, but.
And look at Ghost Inside. Their whole career got, like, derailed by one accident.
What happened?
Yeah.
Well, they got in a really bad bus accident on tour 2015, 2016.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah, because I remember their comeback album came out when I was in Tampa right during COVID.
Yeah, I remember the comeback album was
But
on COVID
their
time.
last album before that happened was Dear Youth, and I think that came out in 2014.
Wow.
So somewhere between.
So they never financially recovered from the accident?
I don't
know.
I don't know.
They blew up after they came back.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they were already big, but
but to imagine your career, everything's going really well, and an unimaginable event like that happens, like, there's got to be repercussions of that. Like, the machine stopped.
Yeah.
And now you're having to rebuild your life. Like, I couldn't imagine the recovery portion of that. Like, because you got to think when you're on tour, there's people you got to pay.
Yeah.
And they're depending on you. And then you have the machine. There's so many. I guess what I'm saying is there's so many hats
and so many
and people,
parts.
but so many
You don't
moving
even think
parts.
about.
Exactly. Like, when the machine like that stops and you cancel a tour, like, people are losing money, and you're losing money because you probably have some investment. Like, a lot. Like, for example, I think it was like Dane Cook. When what happened? Do you know about what happened with him and his brother?
Yeah.
Well, like, he
was,
took
like,
a
stealing money the whole entire
yeah
time.
he took a risk and rented out all those arenas. And
he made a deal that was like cutting edge that nobody really thought was going to pan out.
Right. But some of those bands have guarantees that they're relying on to pay debts back for their production or whatever. Yeah. So when that doesn't pan out, now you have debt, and you're in the situation they were in, where it's like people lost limbs and shit. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, their drummer lost a leg.
Yeah.
Who else?
The guitar player lost like half his foot.
Yeah.
And then I think the Vigil, the singer, like he like broke his hips like really bad.
Yeah,
his
the driver died. Driver
died. Mm-hmm. But to be in a band, it's a lot of work. And then not only is it a lot of work, it's just the grind, like living in a van. Can you imagine, like at our age, like being in your 30s, going into your 40s, like living in a van again? Yeah. You got to truly love it.
Well, the scary part is the fact that unless you're handed just a magic like ride, like, hey, you want to be as big as like the biggest bands instantly, and like do it for a few years, and then you could retire and you'd be good to go if you wanted to. Then there's the bands, like one of my favorite bands, Me Without You, since way back in the day. They just broke up, but like I've listened to podcasts from them, and even though they had a good following, that was what kept them tied to doing the band, was that they blew up to a certain point that would motivate them to keep doing it. And it also took away all of their time to develop careers otherwise, or develop certain things to fall back on.
Yeah.
And when you do that, when you become so reliant on the grind of being in a band, then you become reliant on, we have to do the album thing again. We have to promote an album, record an album, tour off that album, do the merch promoting the album, and then do it for a little while, and then do another album, because that's how we get paid. It's not like most bands that we like, unless they're just massive, they're kind of a slave to the game unless they're developing certain careers, where if they quit the band, they could still be well off.
Yeah.
Some of them have never advanced a career.
Also,
and they'd be screwed if they didn't have the band.
The game has changed too. A lot of these bands, like in that realm, came up before the internet and the streaming, so they were getting royalties and CDs, and that stuff was still selling, where you still had like a hold on your art. Now the bands coming up now, they're on the struggle bus, because it may be easier to put out music than it ever was, but now you have this whole stack of fucking bands on top of you, because their music's out on the internet too, and now it's oversaturated, and you're not making any money, and you can't survive. So the bands that came from that old era that are now here and they're successful, they have to keep the machine going, because they can't just take a break and the CDs will still sell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's remarkable that like bands in general nowadays do make it at all, because you're splitting like what a rapper would make 5 ways or 4 ways or 3 ways, however many ways, and you're continuing to go. Like you're able to do that. Meanwhile, like somebody could have like what is that, Old Town Road, Lil Nas X, like that blew up, became the biggest song of all time there for a minute, like billions of streams, like, and that was like him just fucking around making like, let me make like a trap country song, and it worked. But it's like he didn't have to really split that money too many ways. But it's like with a band, you're not just splitting it with all like whoever else you have. Maybe y'all are too small to have like a manager and like a media person, or like like people to kind of direct you where to go. But like these bigger things that get off the ground and go crazy big, you're like, that's also the way. And I know I already said Bring Me the Horizon, but they have such momentum that it's like they're making so much money that even them splitting it doesn't matter. They're making so much
Depends
money.
On how many people are involved with the machine.
Or like here's a band that like I don't think anybody thought would go as far as they're going, and they're still getting bigger. Motionless in White. They're getting. They just played WrestleMania 2 years ago, or maybe last year. That's crazy.
Another bucket list.
That is like this Super Bowl.
Another bucket list band we got to open for multiple times. We've opened for Motionless at least 3 or 4 times. Like, I still pinch myself.
Yeah, and
never
that's
a
like
fan.
When you were
really?
You were never a fan?
Nah.
Hey, wasn't for you, bud.
I like the first record a lot, especially because our old singer Dylan, he's a big fan. He has a tattoo and everything.
Yeah, sorry, Ding.
Yeah,
I apologize.
But I mean they got hits, man.
Yeah, for sure. Like, dude,
they got hits.
They play. There's a wrestler called Rhea Ripley, and they played her out.
Yeah,
and she looks just like Chris, like
Yeah.
from Motionless. Like, I mean, they do the makeup kind of similar. Like the hair slicked back, it's black. It's like they look very similar, and they were like screaming at each other as they're like walking out, and they're like doing the song. Dude, it's fucking
that song Abigail, that one, and then
Immaculate
Misconception.
Dude, that one fucking.
But even their stuff now is still really catchy. Like I can always guarantee, because I love Halloween, the Motionless in White will be on my Halloween playlist.
Yeah, it's like they're not super themed that way, but they got the vibe.
They have the vibe, yeah.
That it's like
also, them and
dude,
Ghost.
We're more than halfway to Halloween.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Like we're getting close.
Yeah.
Like
I love it.
I didn't know you were a big Halloween guy.
I love Halloween. My wife and I, for the longest time, we're going to Halloween Horror Nights like every year.
Okay, well then y'all have to come back on for a Halloween episode.
Sure. I would love to. 100%, dude.
We should figure out, like, we should dress up for sure.
Oh, for sure.
I'm down.
Like actual costumes.
Yeah.
Instead of just emo.
Halloween is like my wife's Christmas. Like she loves the spooky stuff.
See, it's like I like Halloween, but I don't like you know how like maybe you like Disney movies, but you don't like Disney people. Yeah. I like Halloween, but I don't like Halloween people that are like their whole personality is Halloween 24/7.
Yeah, no. I still love the summer. You know?
I know your lips aren't purple. I know they're not.
Yeah.
Stop doing that.
Yeah. No, I love the vibe when it's here.
Yeah.
I love Florida. It's kind of hard because it feels like summer 24/7 here, but I love like. Okay, fall is here, like the leaves are falling, everything's turning different colors, and I just like the spooky fall season. I just love that. I always have. It's been fun. It's always been fun. And then, of course, scary movie marathons. It's like the perfect time. You know? It's all fun.
Here's a proposition to give you guys that maybe y'all become world famous from this. But nobody on the planet that I know of, other than the fucking remix that you're going to think of immediately when I say this, but nobody on the planet has ever made a successful Thanksgiving song. And I'm not talking about like beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes. Not that
was an accident, right? That was
good.
That's just her preaching and they like cut it up. Y'all have an opportunity. You have what, 6 months? Till
Thanksgiving song.
Drop the hottest Thanksgiving track the world's ever seen.
We could just do a cover of the beans, greens,
potatoes, tomatoes.
That'd be kind of cool.
Beans, greens, potatoes,
Yeah, dude, that would be fucking hilarious.
No,
but it's like, how do you even write a Thanksgiving song that doesn't? Like, what is the vibe of Thanksgiving that you could lay into music?
Could I be honest? I have never been like. Especially with music, like I've never been the guy that's like, we have to have a song that's about this.
Yeah, but you could be that,
dude.
You could change. This is your opportunity.
I just feel like it's so hard for me to be like, I just feel like it's like almost imposter syndrome. Like, why am I writing a song about that? Not about that specifically, but like anytime someone's like, we have to write a song. Let's just say we have to write a song about books. Yeah. It's like, oh no, like
boring.
Like, or Mountain Dew. Like I couldn't. Like it's like would it become good or just a parody?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Sometimes parody's good. Lil Dicky,
true.
Dude. Lil Dicky slaps.
Thanksgiving song. They're definitely. We have too many Christmas songs.
Yes.
We have too many Halloween songs.
Now, here's a challenge. Name one Thanksgiving song.
I can't.
There you go.
I can't even really think of a Thanksgiving movie except Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Son-in-Law.
Son-in-Law? Is that a Thanksgiving movie?
Oh, yeah.
It is.
That is true.
Man,
that's my one Thanksgiving
tradition. See, there's some rom-coms that, like, aren't necessarily themed for Thanksgiving, but have Thanksgiving in the movie.
Yeah.
So it's like you could get away. It's kind of like the Die Hard thing. It's like you could
Is it a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like you could be like, oh yeah, like Meet My Parents.
Oh, Meet the Parents. Meet the Fockers.
Yeah, isn't that Thanksgiving?
I love that movie.
That's how they initially got together for the first movie. Is for Thanksgiving.
I'm watching you, Focka. I'm watching you. I love that, dude.
Dude, you'd be a good Robert De Niro if you just did a little mole.
Well, didn't they do that in that movie Neighbors, where they were all dressed up as De Niro?
Yeah. Dude,
different De Niros.
Watch how you talking to me, Focka.
You know who else he would look good as? And this is an anime character, or not anime, but There's a guy on Futurama.
Fry?
Or no. Maybe it's not. No. Maybe it's fucking Simpsons. Smile real big. He kind of looks like the dude that can't stop smiling. I can't remember the guy, but he's got blonde hair and he's like super handsome and he's like a male model.
I mean, I'll take it.
You got the facial structure.
Is it? Are you talking about the guy that's in all the commercials?
Yeah, I think
the
so.
guy's like, "Hi, I'm Troy McClure."
Yes.
Yeah,
pull him up. And tell me you don't look just like this motherfucker.
Oh, dude, that's funny.
No, I don't know that it's Troy McClure. I know who you're talking about. That's the older guy. It's the blonde guy. He's blonde. He's got like perfect teeth. Smiles a lot.
We're talking about. No, it's not. It's not this guy. Oh dang.
No.
Are you talking about the guy that they make fun of? That's like Arnold, like an Arnold Schwarzenegger like parody.
Is
like,
this on The Simpsons?
This is on The Simpsons. Yeah.
I don't know. Fuck. I have to pull this up while we're out talking about it.
That's fine.
Blonde.
Simpsons character.
Simpsons. God
Speaking of Simpsons, while you're looking that up, I loved the Simpsons universe, like area in Universal Studios. Like every time I walk through that part of the park, like I actually feel like I'm there.
Maybe it is Futurama.
I love that fucking place.
Said the Simpsons part?
Yeah, so like I know in the Universal
Dude, the donuts
side.
they have there?
Yeah, the giant donut.
Yes.
Dude, there's an episode of The Simpsons where Moe comes up with like a drink called the Flaming Moe.
Zach Brannigan from Futurama.
Oh.
You can pull up that smile.
He's like their Captain Kirk.
Yeah, like smile. Like, dude, your hair is not that far off if you just bleach it blonde.
That fucking
You
guy.
can pull this shit off.
That guy is a cocky, arrogant
and he's
asshole.
Perfect.
And I love it.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, he's fucking hilarious.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he's like mindlessly confident.
Yeah.
He's like, I could kill that entire alien arm race. Like, no, you couldn't.
I wouldn't say I'm that confident.
No, but you could play him because like your
Okay.
facial structure, I
gotta
think,
get
is
in the
not
Take
that
it.
far off.
Someone told me with a hat I looked like Rob Dyrdek. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, a forwards hat, like
Yeah,
the
dude.
fat
You
hats
remember
he used to
when
wear, I can
in our
see it.
old band, I always wore hats,
Yeah.
and I always had like I had
But, like,
DC shirts and
DC
everything.
era,
Yeah.
like big baggy clothes, jersey.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you can pull that off.
Yeah, I look
See
like
it.
Rob Dyrdek. That'd be awesome.
That's crazy.
I love his show, Fantasy Factory.
Oh,
That's
dude.
one of the
Dude,
best.
talk about living a childhood dream.
Yeah.
Like you go to work, the whole thing is a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be serious, but it's like even everything in there is just branded, and it's like, wow, we have a monster cooler. We have like all the coolest shit that we want.
Do you want to talk about living childhood dream? Imagine being Bam.
Oh, yeah, but his thing kind of fell off.
Dude, yeah, well, no,
he just now got back to skateboarding.
yeah,
Maybe as good
but
as we
man, like Viva La Bam and Jackass, like you imagine that's what you get paid to do, like just
are. But
wild
it
shit
ruined
all
his
day.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like
And he became
the
Phil.
give or take on that. I'd rather be Rob Dyrdek.
Yeah, no,
He's
100%.
a multi, probably
100%.
probably getting close to billionaire by now.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, because how many shows he sold, like that is his blueprint now. Is like he builds shows that like you probably wouldn't even.
Oh,
know
as
his
a
show.
grown man right now, absolutely. But as a 20-year-old, having that kind of budget and terrorizing your parents, like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, like how much
you had a
fun.
Transylvania style cabin mansion house thing.
The castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The castle.
And like your entire driveway was kind of like a skate park.
So I just watched. The reason why I brought that up was I just watched on YouTube. Bam does a tour of Castle Bam now, and it's like 2 hours long, and he has all the old characters come back from the show, and they talk about the Snake Run driveway and how that got built. Just all these crazy things that happened in that house during the. I mean, he even said it like they didn't stop filming for like 7 years. It was just constant filming 24/7, like because that was the peak of reality TV.
Yeah, that's crazy.
MTV was.
And for MTV to be pushing you and be like, "Hey, you can't stop, dude.
Yeah.
We need this."
It was so weird too, because I remember as a kid, like recording. Did you ever record TV on the like VHS tapes
Yes.
when your favorite show is on? So I was watching ESPN, and it was like Tony Hawk's giant skate park tour on ESPN. And Bam was a part of it. Is when he had like bleached blonde spiked hair. And like he was not famous yet. And he was just like the most normal looking dude, but he was still jumping off like hotel balconies into pools.
Dude.
And then next thing I know, he's got the black long hair, and he's like taking over the world. Same thing with Rob Dyrdek.
Yeah.
He was on like X Games, and he was just quiet and kind of shy.
Who's the other one, child star skater that Ryan Sheckler?
Oh, yeah, Ryan Sheckler.
Ryan Sheckler, he's another one, dude.
That
he
was the
like
first one I think that really blew up in like you got to see more of the skateboarding thing and not just the crazy shit.
Yeah.
But then you kind of saw like, oh, dad kind of pressures you. Also, little brother was pretty good. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Caleb or something.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like if he didn't have the shadow of Ryan, like he could have been a. I think he did go pro, but it was like very low.
Yeah.
Like, didn't do a lot of shit with it. But it's like your brother is Ryan Sheckler.
But you're right. Like when he became successful, the family was definitely like, you gotta keep doing ollies outside.
Like
like
yeah, don't get on camera. I swear to God, if you come on this camera, I'll drop you. Like if my brother was Robby, I would never touch a base. Like too big of a shadow to be cast.
Man.
You know, I might push Walmart carts for the rest of my life.
I think if I had a brother, that would have been perfect. I'd be like, dude, you can play drums. Like, I got an easy drummer for the rest of my life. Like, but to be at that level of success, like kind of going back to what you were saying earlier, like if the opportunity ever arose and it was like, hey, your band can be this band if you really want it, it's like, God, dude, there's so much shit that comes with that.
Yeah.
Like,
But would you do like what he was saying earlier, like a little 3-4 year run, get as big as possible, and then just like live in your life, and then be like every couple months we'll do a festival?
The only way.
I feel like that's the setup. Is
feel like
invest a little bit.
What a lot of them are doing now is they're older. Is they'll just play like a festival here and there and just get bank and then go back to chilling.
I think we all agreed that this will never surpass our comfort. So if it becomes uncomfortable and not fun, it won't be exercised in any way, which for me is the right thing to do, because our last band, we tried too hard to do things like that were really simple to be done. I feel like without a lot of pressure. Like, for example, why would we practice on a Wednesday night at 9:30 if we have no shows booked? It's like, what are we practicing for? Just practicing just to practice?
But we were tight when we.
But we were fucking tight. That is true. Our breakdowns were just like right where they needed to be. But at the same time, it's like, how serious is too serious? Like, I even get caught in that whirlwind where it's like, when I have an idea, it's like, how far can I take this? You know, like I want to like go the distance, but then I have to like humble myself a little bit. It's like, oh, you're still a local band. Like, come back down to earth for a second. Like, this doesn't have to be something crazy. Like, it can just be what it is, you know? And a lot of things shine like that. Like, hey, this is what it is. Let it be. Let it grow on its own.
I just look at it like a scrapbook. Like, kind of like how you said, if I had a bunch of chapters, there'd be a ton of different chapters. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of addicted to continuing that. And I was doing the Gills for a while. I mean, still am, but we just don't play a whole lot. But I hadn't gotten to perform in a heavy band since Safe Harbor. Mm-hmm. And when he asked me about doing this band, it's like sometimes I still feel a little old to be playing, like, especially that last Panama City show. Like, there's a bunch of kids there.
When
and
that
I'm
kid
like
did the
sitting at the
backflip?
merch table. Yeah, some kid did a backflip, and I'm like, should I be here?
Yeah.
Am I like reliving this thing I used to do? And it's kind of, I'm like washed out a little bit, not to anyone else, but to myself.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I'm like, man, if I knew I was going to like die tomorrow, or like just looking back in life, if you have the opportunity to play music with a friend that's been there for years, that you've done tons of bands with, you get to headbang for a little while, get crazy, and then go back to your life. And that was my whole deal, is I was like, I don't want to be anything more than that. I don't want to have these certain obligations. If you want someone to get up on stage with a bass, play a show, and have fun with, then I'm down.
And that's the cool thing, like what he said. The cool thing about that too is everyone in the band is pro, in the sense that I don't have to see Robby for months and be like, hey, if you want to get on stage tomorrow with me, I know he can play.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be fine. Like, that's that cool thing about it. It's this band is kind of like this like really cool spot where we don't have any pressure, but we can still do really cool shit and be recognized as a legitimate band without any of the pressure.
Yeah.
And the financial part, it's like I'm okay with taking a lot of the financial burden to record the music, because it's like if I have an idea and I really want to chase it, I'll chase it. But, you know, like what comes with being in a band is usually it's like back in the day, like when we were under record, none of us had money. So we were like, all right, we got to split it 5 ways. We got to everybody's got to have the money by this day. It became like a hassle, like a chore, where it's like this. It's like, okay, well, I have a comfortable job now. I can financially support the band if I want. And whenever I get an idea and I can afford it, like I'll go do it. And then if the guys want to contribute, they can. If not, I'll still chase it. And we'll come together, we'll play it, and it'll be no big deal. And we'll just keep the ball rolling as long as we want. And then when it's not fun anymore or it becomes too hectic, we're just like, all right, wipe the hands clean. I'll see you guys whenever we want to do this again.
Yeah.
You know, and that also in bands, there's a maturity thing, which we're all in our 30s. So it's like we know the boundaries of people's lives. Like back in the day when you're in a band and you're young, you don't recognize people's boundaries. And like if you're ever in a studio and recording music with a bunch of people and you don't know how to tell another guy that their idea sucks without causing a rift in the band that might be like detrimental, like that could be a problem. Where like when you're in a band in your 30s, yeah, it's like, am I too old to be doing this? But you also can make things happen a lot easier because you probably have a job and you guys can communicate without being an asshole or being rude or hurting someone. You're cognizant of that. A lot of people aren't cognizant of that when they're young. So that's, in a nutshell, like if tomorrow someone said, Chris, I will make your band the biggest band in the world, I would have to sit back and go, what are all the variables? Like, and is it really possible? Because I'm also in the military right now. If I were to go to Uncle Sam right now and be like, hey, they want my band to be the biggest band in the world, can I leave? They're going to be like, fuck no. Yeah. We got you for 3 more years, buddy. Like, I got
you for 3 more minutes.
3 more minutes of playtime. So I also recognize that too. And Robby's got a life, and Kyle's got a life, and Kellen's got a life, and there's kids involved for some of us. So yeah, to answer the question, it would be very difficult. But if the right opportunity was there and everyone was down, I'm in.
Y'all might also become like retroactively huge. Because like the way the world works nowadays, like TikTok takes off with something that came out. Like, I know everybody's on this band's dick, but it's like they are a really good band. But Deftones.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Everybody from
the resurgence, you mean?
Yeah, it's insane how big they've gotten. And it's not that they ever weren't big once they got kind of big or whatever. Like, they just decided to not play as much sometimes.
Yeah.
But, like, all of a sudden, TikTok found out.
Yeah.
So it's like,
that
who knows,
sound.
10, 20 years from now, Sick Room might be the fucking bee's knees. Y'all might be as big as Madonna.
I think Deftones was in a really cool situation because that, like I was saying, the sound. Yeah. That sound has made a huge resurgence. Like Mood Ring, that band. Like, I'll have to watch very that. Deftone sounding.
Or I'll have to listen to that. Have y'all listened to Chinko's other band, Team Sleep?
I haven't. I know of it, but I haven't listened to it.
I didn't know that. I knew he had Crosses, which is like a solo thing.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of Team Sleep.
I know. This other one has like, it sounds like it has like Deftone songs, but then it also sounds like because they incorporate other singers in it too. So there's like a girl singer in like maybe 3 or 4 songs. And you're like, oh, it sounds more of like a group effort of like other artists he must have liked at the time. But it's like, I think it was like 2011 or something. It's pretty old now. I guess not that old, but like, obviously not. They only did 1 album, but it is an album and you can listen to it. And it's got some really good songs on it. Like everybody knows the Boulevard Nights song. Like if I played it, you'd be like, oh, I've heard that on Instagram. Mm-hmm. That one's big. And there's I think it's called World War II. That one's really good. It kind of also has Deftone vibes.
And this is Chino's side project?
He is the singer. I don't know if he was the guy that was like
who put it together.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was like I think in between doing albums with Deftones.
Yeah.
But
it's hard to imagine what. That's what I love about putting out music. Like you just really don't know who's gonna find it and where it leads. Like for example, I have a story. Did Ben tell you a story about Safe Harbor a few weeks ago?
Mm.
Well, what happened was he used to work in a place in Texas, and somebody he used to work with still works there or whatever, and he's up in Wisconsin now. But anyway, Minnesota. Long story short, he met somebody who heard of our band but never met them and has never been to a show. Or from Pensacola, never been to Pensacola at all, but found our band and loves our band from back in the day. So it's like what I love about the internet, how cool it is anything can be found.
Yeah.
And you don't really know who's going to find it. And that one person may be like, I just picture it now, like this is like a plot of a movie. Like we have a band goes silent for like 10 years and some rich millionaire dude who probably grew up listening to this shit on YouTube or whatever is like in a mansion right now. He's like, how much could I pay this band to come back?
It'd be crazy.
You know, like it could be
my kid's birthday party.
Yeah, like
that would be a funny like Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah.
Put that shit in his ear.
Dude, back to the movie thing. He's got so many funny. He's like Will Ferrell. He's got some bad ones, but he's got some great ones.
You know what the best thing about it is though?
What?
I've got to pee so bad.
Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah.
I gotta
I'm gonna
cut
go
this
pee.
because we've gone pretty long. But before I get out of here, if y'all want to sign the wall,
Yeah.
y'all can sign the wall.
100%.
I've already signed it. You know, I've already been here.
You ain't gotta sign it again then. Whatever,
sign it
dude.
again.
Initial it.
Whatever, dude.
Initial
I'll sign
next
it
to
each
it.
time.
Dates.
Before we get out of here, y'all can sign the wall and you can go pee. Just don't bump the camera. But before we get out of here, I just want to shout out Johnny Mumbles and Sacred Grounds Tattoo Studio. Doing the sickest work on my back right now. Whenever it gets finished, I'll drop it and let you guys see what it looks like. But on Instagram, at Johnny Mumbles, check him out. Go get it tattooed by him. He does amazing work. He's got a portfolio, so you might want to like book something. It's going to be a little bit before he can get to you, but amazing stuff. Like check him out if you want to get tattooed. Maybe you want to get a sick room tattoo on you.
Hell yeah.
Check it out. But can't thank you guys enough for coming on.
Yeah. Can I shout out the band?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. All right. Sick Room Official at Instagram. We have a show June 28th in Panhandle Panic Fest in Panama City. And we have another show July 17th in Fort Walton. And that'll be with Brave New World and Spirit Leaves. So that'll be really cool. And then our new songs, No Way Out, which you get the luxury of having us talk about it for the first time. Because this is the first announcement of it at all. June 27th. That song will be out everywhere. And it premieres on 97X. So,
Fuck yeah, dude. Well,
cool.
Be on the lookout for that stuff. Thank you guys for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having us, man.
We love you guys. We're getting the fuck up out of here.